Are you stuck at home on a Saturday night with nothing to do again?
I can't take it anymore!
Then join me, my co-hosts, and my guests every Saturday evening for Mic Check Radio with Adam Hebert.
Okay.
Together we'll discuss the big news of the week from entertainment and politics, talk about the issues that are on your mind, and hey, we'll even talk about general stupidity and jackassery from the American right.
You stupid jackass!
So join me every Saturday evening, 6 to 9 p.m. Central at my Ustream home, Mic Check Radio. Come on in, it'll be loads of fun.
Gee, I sure hope there's a happy ending. I love a happy ending.
Live on all the interwebs and internets, it's Mic Check Radio with Adam Hebert.
Fuck yeah!
Okay, good. We do have good evening, everyone. This is, of course, Mic Check Radio with Adam Hebert, and joining me, as always, the other three horsemen of the liberal apocalypse, John Kendall at Missoula, Montana. Oh, yeah.
Howdy.
Rob Poole out of Baltimore, Maryland.
Good evening.
And, of course, Wes Carskadden, the most badass, yada, 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 out of Chattanooga,
Can I be
Tennessee.
Pestilence?
We'll have that discussion later, honey.
Yeah, we're still working that out.
Ooh.
Yeah,
You're
we're
catty tonight.
No. I asked Rob.
What, are we getting gay married now that it's legal?
No.
Hey, I'm in Baltimore, so I am available.
Ooh.
Oh,
I think we're gonna have an on-air wedding.
I think George Takei would say, "Oh my."
Oh my.
I need to get that drop. Anywho, we'll discuss that later because I asked Rob what the four horsemen of the apocalypse would represent, and he said I think it was satire, manliness,
Righteous fury.
That's me.
Manliness.
That's
Guess
me.
so.
Tentatively Wes.
Satire
Tentatively John.
and logic.
That would be you. I don't do logic well. In fact, if I try it, I usually go overboard on it. And
Yeah, you have righteous fury down though.
yes, definitely righteous
Oh
fury.
yeah,
And
yeah.
there's
Righteous
gonna
rage you got.
there's gonna be plenty of righteous fury tonight because we're gonna talk about the rejection of the UN treaty about the rights of the disabled.
Way to embarrass America.
And we're also going to be talking about the newest front in the war on the working man, Michigan. And, of course, friend of the show, War, will tentatively be joining us for the third hour to talk about that. He just got back from Chicago, actually. And he slept until 4, so it's like, War, I need an answer! And I felt kind of bad because I had no idea he had gotten in so late. He didn't get in until, I believe he said, 2 his time, and he was up until 3, I think, talking to his boyfriend about the trip.
Nice.
So, anywho, let me tell you, I've known Wes and Rob for, it's 13,
A long time.
13, 14 years.
Back in the internet Bronze Age.
Yeah.
Back when we used dial-up.
Oh my God!
Hey,
yes.
I remember dial-up, man.
Yeah. And let me tell you, Wes loves his booze, and I have never seen him so shit-faced as I saw him at the company celebration for 6 months on the air. So, well played, Mr. Carskadden.
Full disclosure, I was much more shit-faced on election night.
He can hold his liquor, and of course, my birthday was Wednesday. Huh?
Woo! Oh yeah! Happy birthday!
Thank you. It was.
Or happy. What was it? Funalia? Yes.
Funalia?
When I posted on your Facebook, happy Funalia.
I must have missed it. I'm
the
sorry.
celebration of Faunus.
Well,
Yeah,
I found
it's a
out
shtick
something.
that I have on Facebook.
I found out something interesting about my birthday. I have known for a long time that I share my birthday with Strom Thurmond and Walt Disney, which is actually pretty funny if you think about it. I share a birthday with, I'm a liberal Democrat, and I share a birthday with one of the most conservative Republican racist assholes in history.
And Strom Thurmond.
Ha!
But well played, sir. But and then I know some of the anime characters I share a birthday with: Kino Makoto from Sailor Jupiter, Lelouch Lampeduche from Code Geass, and I also learned that my birthday is the day the repeal of Prohibition went into effect. So not only is December 5th the day the world was graced with my presence, it's also in America we can get legally hammered again.
It's like they knew you were coming, so they decided to let us drink away knowing you existed.
Anyway, before we get to the heavier point, I just want to discuss this. We were considering a move from Ustream to a new service called Spreecast. Kenny Pick, our dear friend, big brother, inspiration, muse.
You're inflating his head now.
Huh?
At this point. Said you're inflating his head at this point.
Okay.
I think I can see it from here.
Feeding his ego.
Well, he can't. He's not listening because he is at a Christmas party for his. He's on WVKO in Columbus, Ohio.
So he's enjoying the fact there's no prohibition.
Oh yes. Anywho, so we thought about moving to Spreecast, and I did some last-minute tests last night. And unfortunately, Spreecast does not handle music very well. And I made the decision that it was just too much of a risk. We can't, even if it's just related to music, it basically made anything that had music in it unlistenable. That includes our montages, our bits, like, whatever Mike and Raleigh does. And I was worried.
Hey, it might improve John's rap.
Oh!
I told you! I said, don't break it up, you two.
Penalty box, Karscad. Get used to it, son.
You derailed my train of thought. Thank you. I just decided that it was too much of a risk at this time. I sent them a polite email explaining, I host Mike Check Radio. My friend recently moved. We were thinking about moving. These are the problems we have with your service, and if you address these problems in a satisfactory manner, we will move here. We're very pleased with what we see, but these problems are deal breakers because, for example, without music, we would have 6 minutes of dead air every half hour.
Right.
And
that would be no good.
And,
And
so...
without music, Adam would look like a huge idiot.
Well, it's not just about the music. Like I said, it's about basically anything that had music in it could not be heard. So it would mean, for example, we couldn't do, like Asshole the Week jingle would sound bad. Or, that would not sound right.
Dude, yeah, we have to carry the whole show with just, talking.
Yeah, but I am currently looking at live stream as a new home for this program. The only problem with that is we would have to have our archives off-site because if you don't pay, they will only let you keep a program in the archive for a month. That's something easy to work around. Once we get our website up and running, it's done like that.
Word.
So, next weekend, we will probably be doing a trial broadcast at a new live stream channel. We will make sure that everyone involved, all of our usual listeners will get a link to this. Tell your friends, tell your neighbors, tell your family, tell your friends, what if your friends don't have family? I don't know. But, yeah, that's where we stand right now. Any thoughts on the matter?
No.
Not really. I mean, see how the thing works.
Mm-hmm.
It can't suck worse than Ustream.
Yeah.
Like I said, if it weren't for the fact that Spreecast just chokes it on music whenever I tried to play it, we would be on Spreecast right now.
Right.
So,
Word up.
What, right?
Trio.
so where shall we begin this week? I think okay. Let's talk about Jim DeMint. The big surprise this week.
Yeah. Or like Jim DeWint.
Dumb.
Heyo.
Yeah, that pretty much fits.
Actually, I learned this week that DeMint is actually French for bag with which one douches, which actually fits.
That's a very pleasant name for a douchebag.
Yeah,
They must prefer minty douches in France.
But
That would stink, man.
I don't get me wrong. I love mint ice cream, but mint, douche. I don't think I would like that smell.
Mint in the vagina? No, thank you.
No, yeah, exactly. Anywho, in an unexpected move, Tea Party favorite Senator Jim DeMint is resigning his seat in order to head up the Heritage Foundation in Washington, D.C. The Heritage Foundation is, of course, ironically, a think tank.
Irony.
Yeah.
I know, right?
You should have used air quotes with the word think, Adam.
That's
Yeah,
why it's
air quotes.
ironic. He's an idiot.
I know that. I'm not that dumb.
All right. Think tank, air quotes.
There you go.
We need like a sound effect to cover air quotes, since you guys can't hear me, or can't. You can hear me. You can't do the other thing. See me. There we go. We need to figure that thing out. But
That's what she
we
said.
will. So let's talk about the Senate. So first of all, Jim DeMint. He's resigning the Senate till he head up the think tank, air quotes, in Washington D.C. So let's take a look at some of the highlights of Jim DeMint's career, shall we?
Must we?
Do we
Yes.
really have to call them highlights?
Well,
Low points, maybe?
low points.
Yeah.
Low points
Um,
for America.
Low
Saying
points for America.
highlight is offensive to those that get high.
Okay. Hey,
Don't mind if I do.
the article is 11 Reasons You're Glad Jim DeMint is Leaving the Senate by Scott Keyes of Think Progress, favorite source of the show. And so here we go. 11 reasons. 1. He stood with Todd Aiken after legitimate rape comments.
Ugh.
So,
He loves the ladies.
he loves...
He loves the ladies, especially when they're screaming and struggling.
Yes, according to this, DeMint was one of the first major conservatives to stand with the Missouri congressman following the legitimate rape comments. He even used his political action committee to donate $90,000 to Aiken's campaign and use its network to raise hundreds of thousands more. We support... Oh, I'm sorry.
You know what? You know what this bit needs? Dueling banjos.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I was just about to break that out for the actual quote. Here we go.
Thirded and passed.
Where was I? Okay. We support Todd Aiken and freedom-loving Americans in Missouri and around the country. We support... Oh, I'm sorry. We support Todd Aiken and hope freedom-loving Americans in Missouri and around the country will join us.
Let us double down on our crazy.
Exactly. Don't worry.
We
We'll
don't
use...
Yeah.
like people with vaginas.
We demand that vaginas be banned.
Well, then what are we gonna do about Karskadin?
Oh, all right. You guys, look. The rap battle is in, I believe, 5 weeks. We're going to do that on the 12th of January.
I don't
That's
know, man. I don't think they can hold it that long.
You guys need to break it up, get into your corners. there's plenty of time for that later. Let's get through this article, please. Back to dueling banjos. He led the opposition against Obamacare. In 2009, during the height of the GOP's opposition to healthcare reform, Jim DeMint told a conference call of conservative activists that, quote, if we are able to stop Obama on this, it will be his Waterloo. It will break him. And of course, here's the funny part. He's a fan of the Romney Care. So, way to be a hypocritical douchebag. Any thoughts before we move on to number 3? Hi, Amber.
No. Oh, sorry.
No, it's cool. I was saying hello. I was saying,
you guys, I have a girl making me dinner.
Oh.
Aww.
All right.
That's it. Just rub it in.
Yeah. Okay, back to the stupidity in dueling banjos.
Continue.
He wants to prevent gay or unmarried teachers from teaching in public schools. In 2010, DeMint said, quote, said if someone is openly homosexual, they should not be teaching in the classroom, and he holds the same position on an unmarried woman who's sleeping with her boyfriend. She should not be in the classroom. During his first Senate campaign in 2004, DeMint agreed with the state's party platform barring gay teachers from public schools, claiming that the government shouldn't endorse certain behaviors.
Okay, we've gone over the whole fucking, homophobia thing. Really? People who aren't married? Really?
Yes.
It's ridiculous.
Okay, good. We have
also, not to mention that one of the best teachers that I remember having in elementary school, flaming gay.
Are you sure? Did he say, yeah, I'm gay, Wes? I mean...
I don't know, but
You suspect. Let's leave it at that.
He had a
All right. Number 5. He wants to strip all federal employees of collective bargaining rights. Though most federal employees don't enjoy the benefits and enjoy the rights and benefits of unionization, DeMint wants to take... Okay, that's too loud. There we go. DeMint wants to take away even the few bargaining rights that they currently enjoy. Quote, I don't believe collective bargaining has any place in government, DeMint told Think Progress last year. Unless, of course, Republicans. Republicans can collectively bargain in the Senate by, obstructing everything. But, anything else is unacceptable. Any thoughts before we go on to number 5? Oh, no, number 6.
No.
Okay.
Not really.
He blocked creation of the National Women's History Museum. Along with fellow arch conservative Senator Tom Coburn, DeMint placed a hold on a 2010 bill to sell land near the Smithsonian Institution in Washington, D.C. in order to create the National Women's History Museum. Coburn justified the move to the block museum by knowing that there already exist museums for quilters and cowgirls. Wow!
That is really, really offensive.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think...
it's a good thing that Amber didn't hear that, because she would go find Tom Coburn and punch him in the dick.
Tell her! I want video.
I'll see what I can do.
Alright, good. So,
okay, quilters and cowgirls. That's all a woman can be.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. So, Jim DeMint and Tom Coburn. Dumbass! I think we're going to dispense with dueling banjos. It's kind of slowing this down. He likened, and I think we covered this back in the, no, we didn't. Never mind. Likened striking Chicago teachers to, quote, thugs in the Middle East. Speaking at the Values Voters Summit in September 2012, because, as we mentioned before, Wes, apparently us evil, godless, commie, pinko, Muslim Democrats don't have values.
Wait, how does that work?
Only conservatives have values.
No, man, we don't have values. I mean, pretty much, I don't believe in anything because I'm a liberal.
Yep, exactly. We don't believe in anything. We don't believe in fairness and equality. And
I do believe in forcing you to get gay married.
all right, no. You will force me into a gay marriage with my
One day.
cold dead body. He said, quote, "On my way over, I was reading another story about a distant place where thugs had put 400,000 children out in the streets. And then I realized that was a story about the Chicago teachers' strike. See, it's funny because he's insulting Chicago, which last I checked was in the... Oh, Jesus Christ. Again, conservatives, comedy, oil and water. You're not funny!
There's nothing better to me than when I see a conservative talking about how liberals have no sense of humor.
I know, right? I mean...
We're actually the funniest people in the world.
Yeah.
So I don't know if this came up on the show, actually. Did you know Grover Norquist, stand-up comedian?
Actually, Kenny Pick covered that, I believe, Tuesday.
Well, okay.
Last week.
I knew it came up, but I couldn't remember if it was on the show or not.
We didn't cover it. Kenny Pick mentioned it, and he said he was going to run. No. Kim mentioned it, and Kenny Pick was like, "Really?" And he went to check it out while we were talking.
Yes.
And,
Okay. I remember now.
He threatened to single-handedly shut down the Senate. In September 2010, DeMint warned his colleagues that he would place a unilateral hold on every single piece of legislation in the Senate, bringing every lawmaking process to a grinding halt. Despite being in the minority, DeMint threatened to allow bills to proceed that his office had personally approved. And they wonder why we want filibuster reform in the Senate.
What pisses me off is the same people who are his constituency are the ones who are like, this damn do-nothing Congress never does anything. And then you have this fucking Jim DeMint saying, well, I'm not going to let anything pass unless I approve it. Like, no wonder they're not doing anything.
Yeah, well,
Exactly.
again, remember, a functioning government is a threat to the conservative philosophy because their philosophy is government doesn't work. So the only way they
True.
can prove that is if they rig it so it doesn't work.
Yeah, that's the
Remember
same.
not-
That's the same
oh.
thing. It's the same thing with decreasing the size of government. They decrease it by blowing it up.
Yeah.
Until it's humongous.
Mhm.
Then they
And-
require a Democrat to come in and bring it down to size.
Well, it's not just that. Then they say, see, big government doesn't work. We need to slash and burn.
Yeah. Defund it, make it obviously not work because there's no funding and no support, and then go, look, it doesn't work.
Yeah.
Exactly. Welcome to Bizarro conservative world.
Exactly. It's bizarre world.
In a world.
Scary.
Blah, 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 blah. I'm sorry. Number 9. Use the failed terrorist attack plot to attack unions. Following a failed underwear bomber plot in December 2009, or as we call him, the crotch bomber, because he burned his cock.
Yeah, the only thing he terrorized was my sympathy pains.
Yeah. So
That gives a new meaning to burnt sausage.
Oh.
you burned my sausage, you some bitch.
Oh, that's nice. Ash on my tomatoes.
So he said, quote, I am concerned because related to another issue that we're dealing with now in the Senate. The administration is intent on unionizing and submitting our airport security to union bosses' collective bargaining. Again, what is it with the Republicans and their hatred of the working man? What is it? What is, what is it that...
I've spent some thought over this, Adam. They hate the working man because the working man actually has to work for their money as opposed to it being handed to them by their rich white relatives.
I have another theory. I think that they hate the working man because the working class man is a masochist. He's a sadomasochist.
Oh, and of course, so they want to regulate sexual, quote-unquote, deviancy.
Well, I mean, even beyond that, they will consistently vote for people who demonize them and, will say, this idea of unionization and collective bargaining is inherently evil.
We'll talk
But
about
it's like
that.
this is,
We'll talk about that in
Oh.
hour number 3 with our dear friend War.
fair enough.
So anyway, where was I? Number 10. Argued that people with pre-existing conditions got better care before Obamacare. Speaking with Think Progress at a Tea Party rally this year, DeMint argued that Obamacare actually hurt people with pre-existing conditions, despite the fact that it bars insurance companies from denying them care. I can guarantee you, people with pre-existing conditions are going to get less care, lower quality health care, under Obamacare, DeMint said. Yeah. They could be denied pre-existing conditions before Obamacare passed, so he's actually making the argument that zero health care is more than 5 or 10,
Because then you'll die and go to heaven and you won't need health care.
That's probably what he thinks. Number
They
11.
don't have health.
Number
They don't have health care where I'm going.
Number 11, where the
Healthcare.
crazy train is almost over. He was, quote, willing to cause, quote, serious disruptions, unquote, in the economy in order to secure draconian cuts. During last year's debt ceiling showdown, DeMint appeared on Fox Business Channel and said that despite the fact that not raising debt ceiling would cause, quote, serious disruptions, end quote, he was, quote, willing to do just that, end quote, in order to get major cuts to social programs like Medicare and Social Security. So this guy, he's against the working man. And he wants your grandparents to, he wants to throw grandma and grandpa into a wood chipper. I mean,
fresh ground old person.
yeah, it's kind of gritty, but some steak sauce. It's cool.
Yeah, a little A1. It's a little tough.
Yeah,
But really, the best thing to do is make jerky out of it.
Yeah,
Make it grandpa jerky.
I think we can.
Or handbag.
Like John had last night. Oh,
Oh, snap.
Will you
sorry.
break it up? Break it up.
I
Damn
say we
you.
egg them on.
Anyway, it is the bottom of the first half hour, and boy, did that go by fast. Am I right or am I right?
That's what Rush Limbaugh's last date said.
There he goes. Alright, we missed that. Next segment, we're gonna talk, guess who's back in the news, guys? Turn Nugget! Turn Nugget saying
Oh, yeah.
stupid shit again.
Always good stuff.
Always good stuff. Always enlightening. And by enlightening, I mean absolutely depressing. I mean, Jesus Christ, I hate this man. I'm like Mrs. White in Clue. I hate him so much. Flames on the side of my face, heaving, breathing flames. Anyway, this is of course Mike Check Radio with me, Adam Hebert, Wesker Skadden, Rob Poole, and several other people whose name, Rob Poole, John Kendall, Wesker Skadden. We will be right back after this.
Oh yeah.
Oh, what the hell?
It's time to eat. Fire up the grill, preheat the oven. We about to have a barbecue and rich people are coming. Austerity to be continued unless we put the other white meat on the menu. And no, I'm not a racist, and I ain't got two faces, and I ain't Eddie Murphy, and we ain't trading places. Fate of the nation, this is what we facing. We should eat the rich like we had a wine tasting, but they gon' get their way, and they gon' get their pay, and they gon' live their life like a fucking holiday. While we go do the work, and we go be the slaves. They buy the politicians and take your rights away. You in an early grave, cause you ain't eating healthy, but all they care about is lower taxes for the wealthy. They gon' get it too, it's true they always do. You should eat the rich, they already eat you. I might get fat, I might get sick, but a piece of meat. Put some season on it, but it ain't time to eat. Turn your oven on, say 425. Once you get them inside, ain't nowhere to hide. But if you wanna fry, we can do that too. Or we can make a soup, or we can make a stew. This is how I do, with a pot of greens and some black eyed peas. Let it cook like Paula Deen. And they gon' get to screaming, and they gon' get to kicking. They should take a licking. I know they taste like chicken. We should eat them rich. Yeah, it sound funny, but we paying the taxes. They keeping their money, so don't get sick. You better stay healthy, cause all they care about is lower taxes for the wealthy. They gon' get it too. It's true, they always do. We should eat the rich, they already eat you. I might get fat, I might get sick, but I'm so hungry I can eat the rich. Fill their pockets by taking our shit. I'm so mad I can eat the rich. Rich tax cuts ain't that a bitch. We so broke we should eat the rich. I might need pills to help me shit, but I'm so hungry I can eat the rich. For dessert, what do we got? One rich fat cat with a cherry on top. One person could save the day. It's the only way you don't get flambéed. It's the only way you don't get sauteed. We unemployed, we here all day. We get mad, shit gets worse. Now we coming for your purse. I'm not inciting, I'm not bashing. I don't wanna kill him, I just wanna tax him. I'm not violent, but I'm not silent. Keep this up and it's gonna be a riot. 1% won't mean that much when the slaves rebel and fuck you up for the love of money. Sold your soul, one day you'll think we need gun control. I might get fat, I might get sick, but I'm so hungry I can eat the rich. Fill their pockets by taking our shit. I'm so mad I can eat the rich. Rich tax cuts ain't that a bitch. We so broke we should eat the rich. I might need pills to help me shit, but I'm so hungry I can eat the rich.
Unfiltered truth, news, and opinion. Filter-free radio with Jacob Dean and Skeptical Scott. Live every Monday, 7 to 9 p.m. Eastern. Radio or not. And filterfreeradio.com.
People don't think critically anymore. Just to examine or critique the system, the culture, political assumptions, things that they see on TV. I mean, whatever happened to the saying, oh, don't believe everything you see or hear?
Yeah, truth in advertising.
Right.
Wasn't that a phrase?
Live every Monday, 7 to 9 p.m. Eastern.
How do you impart upon somebody the disconnect or what's otherwise known as hypocrisy that people have, that they deny themselves from? You know, they live in denial and live in the illusion.
You can't tell somebody they're wrong. They have to see it themselves.
Yeah.
And it has to, it's like they have to kind of make it themselves.
Yeah, they have to discover for themselves how to think that way. So how do you plant the inception?
Filter-free radio, Monday, 7 to 9 p.m. Eastern. Radio or not. And filterfreeradio.com.
Hi, friends. This is Tom Hartman.
This is Stephanie Miller.
Hey, this is Hal Sparks.
I'm Brad Friedman. I approve of Nicole Sandler's RadioOrNot.com.
Radio or Not.
Radio or Not.
RadioOrNot.com.
RadioOrNot.com.
RadioOrNot.com. RadioOrNot.com.
It's the HowdyLand.com News Bulletin with Stan Douglas. Go to HowdyLand.com and click on the Funny Times special offer to receive your free sample issue today.
The freeze-dried ghosts of Joseph Stalin, Winston Churchill, and Franklin Roosevelt have been brought back to life by a team of Disney reanimators just in case rumors about a cloned Hitler spill turn out to be true. Dr. Hans Vootner responded to accusations that his plan is actually a plot to jumpstart the economy with huge increases in military spending. You don't honestly believe we spent the last 60 years growing an army of artificial Hitlers and arranging for their tour buses to overturn outside of major metropolitan areas, accidentally releasing hundreds of that guy into an unsuspecting world, do you? Well, do you? And in politics today, Republican Ron Paul outlined his plan to fatten up America's poor with his great Aunt Mammy's recipe for what he calls invisible soup. The Texas congressman gave full credit to the clear vegetable-free broth and his frugal aunt for making him the healthy, rail-thin, crazy person he is today. This HowdyLand.com news bullet is stuck between Mitch McConnell's first and second molars, hoping to catch him in the act of flossing. I'm Stan Douglas.
I think we're all indebted to
Adam Hebert
for clearly stating what needed to be said. I'm particularly glad that these lovely children were here today to hear that speech. Not only was it authentic frontier gibberish, it expressed a courage little seen in this day and age.
This is Mike Check Radio with Adam Hebert.
And we are back. I apologize for that, what the hell? Okay, there is sound. I'm sorry, I didn't hear. I apologize for that problem. Apparently, I had not. It said that the not news from the Great Depression, the Howdyland News Bullet was loaded and apparently wasn't. My mistake. Anyway, we are back for our second segment with, of course, Rob Poole out of Baltimore, Maryland.
Hey.
John Kendall, Missoula, Montana. John Kendall out of Missoula, Montana.
Yeah, can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you.
Okay.
And, of course, Wes Karskan, the most badass co-host in Liberal Talk Radio. And, of course, Wes Karskan. And, of course, Wes Karskan.
I think he said he had to step out AFK for a second.
Yeah, I'll be back.
All right. He doesn't. No one ever gives me these memos.
Move along.
Anywho, let's talk about some crazy ass Republicans, shall we?
Do we actually talk about any other kind? Is there any other kinds of Republicans?
Well, I mean, there is War, who is somewhat sane.
Yeah. There's a couple sane ones.
You know, Armin,
Sometimes I forget that.
you know, Armin is wrong most of the time, but he's wrong in a sane way, if that makes sense.
Pretty much.
Yeah.
You know, we love Armin. He's a nice guy. Funny though,
Right.
It took me posting about the end of Prohibition for him to remember to wish me happy birthday. I knew if I mentioned beer or liquor, that would get his attention.
Well, that certainly gets Karskan's attention.
He's fond of the drink. Anywho, we are back, and so let's talk about one of our favorite targets on the right, Turd Nugget, Ted Nugent. Let's be honest, this guy's a dick, okay?
I think you just insulted every dick that exists.
You're right. My
Thanks.
penis is mad at me. I'm sorry, buddy. Calm down.
Except for Rush Limbaugh's penis.
Yeah, that. I mean, so, quote. He wrote an op-ed. In the Washington Post. So you know the Washington Post is not a very good paper if they let this illiterate and stupid hillbilly on their write for them. But, quote, only a Fedzillocrat, cute, making up words, pulling shit out of his rectum, could possibly think raising taxes on the wealthy could approach anything restoring sanity in the financial insane asylum known as our federal government. Let's be honest. We're not going to go over the fiscal cliff. We drove off that cliff long ago. We can only hope the crash doesn't demolish the republic. And he's one of these people who says that America. Well, okay. First of all, Republicans usually say America has a spending problem, not a revenue problem. Okay, first of all, that's bullshit. We have a revenue problem. We'll more on that in a little.
Our taxes are lower. The tax income to our GDP is lower than it's been since Eisenhower.
It's the lowest since World War II.
I stand corrected.
He says that we have a federal government problem, and he says that he basically, quote, wants to slash and burn all Fedzilla departments, agencies, and offices that are not constitutionally required or deemed vital. And he wants to kill Social Security, Medicare, and Medicaid.
I don't know why. He's going to need Medicare in a few more years. I mean, he is getting up there,
I'm pretty sure he's
not young anymore.
I'm pretty sure he's
he can't go out hunt. He can't go out hunting pussy anymore. That's for damn sure.
And all those drugs he used to do has to have taken a toll on his body.
Let's remember that.
Yeah, he has to get transfusions from Keith Richards.
I was actually about to make a Keith Richards Memorial Blood Bank joke.
I would go there. Shit. I'd get a transfusion and be high as hell.
You remember, Wes, you remember It Lives by Night on Mystery Science Theater, right? When the guy goes into the hospital to get blood?
Yeah.
He says, it's the Keith Richards Memorial Blood Bank. Excellent. So, okay.
And that's how many drugs it takes to enjoy that movie.
All right, so he says that he supports voter ID, unsurprising, to get our voting system. So basically, he says, let's stop the insanity by suspending the right to vote of any American who is on welfare. Once they get off of welfare and are self-sustaining, they get their right to vote restored. No American on welfare should have the right to vote for tax increases on those Americans who are working and paying taxes to support them. That's insane. Hello? Newsflash! It's a fucking right, you asshole! You don't get to take away rights. That is why they are called rights!
Well, it's the right wing thing, They talk about traditional American values. That means going back to when only rich white landowners could vote.
I mean, this guy is insane! Why do people listen to him? He's a fucktard!
Because they're fucktards too.
Yeah, he has fucktard cred.
They drink the Kool-Aid, what can we say?
And I just spit all over my
dirty
monitor.
Kool-Aid.
Yeah, poisonous Kool-Aid.
Shitty Kool-Aid.
But what is it with these people? They always, when it was Bush running the country into the ground, it was love it or leave it. How dare you criticize this great country? But when it's a Democrat in charge and actually fixing shit, oh no. It's okay to criticize the government. It's okay to hate America.
Well, it's basic conservative denialism. That's call it what it is, denialism. They're still in this bubble where they think, oh yeah, America's number one,
Yeah.
And
because, statistics they're so liberal.
Ace Boss in the chat, who I believe is new, and that jowl shake of mine earlier gave me I'm a little dizzy. He points out that Nugent is a draft dodger, and that's actually true. He basically pissed and shit in his pants for a month before going before the draft board, and they determined he was crazy. Now, here's the easy way to determine Ted Nugent is crazy. Just read anything he has to say. Read or hear anything he has to say. This man, if it weren't for Reagan destroying our mental health care system in America so he could give rich fuckers another tax cut 30, 40 years ago, this man would be in an insane asylum.
Yeah, I mean, I think he must have just enjoyed shitting himself, because it's not hard to determine Ted Nugent's crazy.
I mean...
Yeah, well, I mean,
Ted Nugent lives in Montana, which John is king of.
Yeah, boy.
He lives in Montana? I thought he lived somewhere else.
He lives in Michigan.
Does he? I'd heard Montana.
No.
I stand corrected.
Suck it, Tuskad.
But, I mean...
Just like I said to your mom last night.
Oh!
What is it?
Not before I said it to your mom.
What is it with the Republicans and always wanting to take away rights from people? If you're gay, you don't have the right to get married. If you're an atheist, shut the fuck up. Christians get special privileges. If you're, poor, shut the fuck up. You should be grateful the rich are getting these tax cuts.
You just answered it yourself. Special privileges.
You also forgot if you have a vagina.
Yes, if you have a vagina, shut the fuck up and get back in the kitchen
Basically,
and make
if
me
you're
dinner.
not a white man with a bunch of money, then shut the fuck up.
Yeah. That's basically it. I mean, Democrats never talk about taking people's rights away.
Strange how that works, isn't it?
It's like, we don't concoct... Can you imagine the right-wing reaction if a liberal Democrat governor passed a law directly targeted at traditional right-wing constituents to keep them from voting?
Oh, there'd be hell to pay.
Exactly.
It's just, it's the same thing you see, with Christians, for example, talking about, there's laws in the books in several states, Tennessee being one of them, where if you're an atheist, you can't hold public office. If somebody tried to pass a law in any state where a Christian couldn't hold public office, the noise would be amazing.
Yeah, exactly.
They'd be able to hear it from, Mars.
Well, let's talk about
Curiosity rover would have to call back and say, keep it down.
Dude, come on. We're on Mars. We don't care about your religion.
All right, so let's do this. I meant to play this last week, but it was such a huge clusterfuck. I only played one clip, but this is Bill O'Reilly, again, War on Christmas. Look, let's get one thing straight. There is no war on Christmas. Atheists don't care if Christians practice their religion. We only care when you expect us to just be good sheep and kiss your ass. So...
the strangest thing of it is, too, is, if anyone should be railing about the fake war on Christmas, it should be Christians.
Mm-hmm.
Because the entire holiday has been hijacked by capitalism.
Yeah. So here is Bill O'Reilly talking to, I forget his name, but he's the head of not Americans United, American Atheists.
Look, the government can't say this is a
Mr.
Christmas
Silverman,
tree. Yes,
it
sir.
is a fact that Christianity is not a religion. It is a philosophy.
Well,
if the government were saying that the Methodist religion, all right, deserves a special place in the public square, I would be on your side.
So you're going to actually tell me on live television that Christianity is not a religion?
Correct. It is a philosophy.
You and I are going to fundamentally...
Oops. We covered this last week, but... Look, there are, Jesus was a philosopher. He wasn't a religious figure. It wasn't until after he was dead that this cult of Christianity rose up around him. But Christianity is a religion. We covered this last week. Why? Because...
By the dictionary definition.
Because in order to be a Christian, you have to accept Jesus Christ as your Lord and Savior and the Son of God, part of the Holy Trinity, the Father, the Son, the Holy Spirit. The fact of the matter is, Christianity is religion. They say that, he says it's a philosophy because then he can justify his attempts to ramrod it down our throats and up our ass. Basically, Bill O'Reilly wants to say that it's philosophy, so it's okay if I force you to bow down before my God.
Yeah.
Because let me tell you, I love being subjugated by a philosophy rather than a religion.
Yeah, I'm totally up for Buddhism.
So here's cut 2 from this.
For you to try and
not
cloud
cool.
It's not cool for you to cloud this issue.
Right,
this issue is about religious neutrality from the government. The government says that the government is not allowed to pick sides and
Okay,
say that
number one.
religious belief or philosophy,
if you
is
read the
different from another.
Constitution, it says the government cannot promote a religion.
No, it
All
says
right?
the Congress shall not establish any laws respecting an establishment of religion.
A religion,
yes,
not a philosophy.
Oh,
Okay?
so you wouldn't have a problem then with the government of the United States establishing atheism, because that's also a philosophy. That would be fair for you.
Establishing it? What does that mean?
So we'll put in God we don't trust on all
You
the
can
coins.
put your winter
One
solstice
nation under
sign.
no God in the
If
Pledge of
you
Allegiance.
wanted to go down to Albany, go up to Albany, New York, and put a happy winter solstice sign on Andrew Cuomo's office door, I got no problem with it.
Yeah,
okay?
you would. I think you would.
No,
but
you-
but I wouldn't.
Don't
be cool
tell
with that.
me what I think. When I said I didn't have a problem, I don't have a problem.
Sorry.
Got it?
I totally... Sorry about that. I totally respect you, so shut the fuck up!
I find it funny that he also brings up Andrew Cuomo. I wonder if he would. I wonder if he would have the same effect of have the same feeling if it was Rick Scott's office.
Yeah, well, you know, yeah, again, it's all about Christian privilege. And we've talked about that before.
And you know, and as an outspoken atheist, I don't give a fuck if people say Merry Christmas.
Yeah.
But you don't need to make an issue of it.
Here's, like, as a Christian, you know, whatever, I pander to my atheist friends, whatever. I'm a middle ground kind of guy. To me, Christmas isn't about, like, the birth of Jesus, whatever. It's a season to share with those who don't have what you have, or, you know, to share with ones you love instead of forcing the idea of religion down our throats.
Exactly. I mean, because I think what people don't realize is every culture throughout all of human history has had some form of holiday around this time of the year, a midwinter holiday,
and to
whether
that,
it be Yule or Saturnalia or
and to that,
whatever.
Wes, Bill O'Reilly says,
"Fucking thing sucks."
Fuck it, we'll do it live.
Fuck it, we'll worship Jesus live.
We'll
But
do it
so
live.
it's just, you know, whatever name you want to call this holiday by, I don't give a fuck. I call it Christmas because that's the tradition of the culture I came from. But some people don't dig that, and that's cool too.
Yeah.
I like to refer to it as Happy Capitalism Day.
all right, let's
I'm
try.
a fan of that when I'm feeling a bit more snarky.
Let's try and get in one more clip from this exchange. We're going to go through the whole thing. Well, I mean, I cut out some of the less interesting parts, but here is cut 3 from this. I just, you know, like, one of the clips, and I guess I didn't get it, was Bill O'Reilly's like, you know what, I respect you. I disagree with you, but I respect you. And the funny thing is that as this conversation goes on, Bill O'Reilly just becomes more and more of a dick. So here's cut 3. We'll listen to the rest after break.
Problem. I don't have a problem.
Sir,
Got it?
Sir, if you had you would have a problem with it.
No, I
am
would not.
challenging you on that. You would.
Challenging? You
I'm
don't
challenging
know.
you.
How dare you challenge me, you motherfucker! I said I don't have a problem with it!
This is my show. You can't look at my show.
Yeah, I do know
Ridiculous.
you. I watch your show. Look,
That's
and it wouldn't be
ridiculous.
right either. It wouldn't be right either because the governor is not in the position
Winter
of promoting
solstice
atheism.
is not a religion.
No,
it's
winter
a holiday.
solstice-
If he wants to put winter solstice up on his office door, I got no problem.
Actually, it's a celestial event, and you're right, it would be secular. But if you
Jesus
put up there,
Christ.
in God we do not trust.
I'm sorry, I just said Jesus Christ. That's a religious. He was a man. Now,
Whoa. There we go. First of all, Jesus Christ was the Son of God. If you deny his divinity, you are not a Christian, Bill O'Reilly.
Yeah? Yeah? I mean, and you know, how Christian is Bill O'Reilly, really? You know?
He's an ass!
Of course. Well, he goes through the fucking, he goes through the motions just like, you know, the discussion like everybody else does, endemic in the Republicans, because they tend to make an issue of religion, is, you know, oh, we preach this because it gets us votes, then we don't give a shit.
Yeah. Alright, so here's what we're going to do. We've got a Christmas message from Mr. O'Reilly from the fine folks at Mystery Science Theater. play that for this break. And when we come back, we're gonna dive down the rabbit hole some more and finish this epic argument with Brillo, as Kenny Pitt calls him, Brillo Riley. This is, of course, Mike Check Gray with me, Adam Hebert, Rob Poole, John Kendall, of course, Wes Garska, the most badass co-host in Liberal Talk Radio. We will be right back after this.
Don't you know that a traditional Japanese breakfast is steamed rice, miso soup, and a little...
Mike Check Radio with Adam Hebert.
Hi, folks. Welcome back to The Satellite. As a special treat, Crow, Tom, and I have written and are going to perform an original Christmas carol.
Mike, it's not just for Christmas. It's for holidays of all faiths.
Yeah,
Right.
don't call it a carol, because carol is a woman's name, and we want this song to be all-inclusive.
Right. Why don't you hit a camera? There we go. Let us all now sing our praises to the Lord today. Although you may not share our belief system, which is perfectly okay.
Maybe you worship an abstract being that is kind of vague. Or maybe you just worship a guy whose name is Greg.
Perhaps your religion doesn't include a time called Lent, but whatever your religion is, we support you 100%.
So sit around the fire and have a chestnut roast, or raise a glass in toast to Happy Days Donny Most.
But if you prefer to eat Indian food on Christmas Day, I can only shrug my shoulders and say namaste, namaste.
Personally, I prefer turkey, gravy, and salads. But let's never forget, all cultures are valid.
So let's have peace on earth and cut out all the bull. Let's have a holiday season that's multicultural.
If there's one point we'd like to make with this festive holiday song,
it's that Christmas comes just once a year, so for a few days, for crying out loud, can we all just get along?
Hey,
wow.
That was actually pretty good.
That was great. It was lovely.
Good job.
Very nice.
You never know who or what you'll hear when you listen to the Nicole Sandler Show at RadioOrNot.com.
Your view is not being represented in this country because all of our views have been corrupted by money in politics. Remember, 94% of the time, the candidate who raises the most money wins.
That's the fact that we need to drive home constantly. It's all about the money. Dylan Radigan, you rock.
The Nicole Sandler Show, live Monday through Thursdays at 10 a.m. Eastern, or podcast anytime at RadioOrNot.com.
It's the HowdyLand.com News Bulletin with Stan Douglas. Go to HowdyLand.com and click on the Funny Times special offer to receive your free sample issue today.
Lawyers for the word poverty filed a last-minute appeal for a stay of execution with the Library of Congress today in the hope of rehabilitating the rarely used common noun and returning it to its place in the mainstream media. Poverty had fallen on hard times in recent years, and upon its conviction for felony bias was sentenced to be dragged from its cell and thrown under a political campaign bus. Poverty's attorney, Jane Wilburton.
We don't want to force them to say my client's name out loud. Wait a minute. Yes, we do.
And in yard sale news, apprentice Wisconsin man appearing on the popular public television program Antique Roadkills couldn't believe his luck when a panel of experts informed him that the preserved animal part he picked up at a local swap meet was, in fact, Satan's hoof. Upon learning of his treasure, proud owner Alan Wilcox graciously offered to sing James Taylor songs backwards on next month's local PBS pledge drive. This HowdyLand.com news bullet has taken the form of an annoying Boston Terrier and is currently attached to Paul Ryan's left pant leg. I'm Stan Douglas.
Hi, this is Kenny Pick from Turn Up the Night. Here are some of the hijinks you can expect from my show.
That right-wing Republican from Texas was only helping Dennis because he thought Dennis would be easier for Joe the plumber to beat than Ken.
Yeah, I mean, seriously, a pet rock would have been better candidate than Joe the plumber. I think he might actually have been a pet rock before he was a non-plumber. So, but he was a union pet rock, never mind. Turn Up the Night with Kenny Pick, streaming live every Tuesday and Friday from 7 to 10 p.m. Eastern at Radio or Not, Talk Radio 1, Progressive Blend Radio, and KennyPick.com.
What the hell? Are you stuck at home on a Saturday night with nothing to do again?
I can't take it anymore!
Then join me, my co-hosts, and my guests every Saturday evening for Mic Check Radio with Adam Hebert. Okay. Together we'll discuss the big news of the week from entertainment and politics, talk about the issues that are on your mind, and hey, we'll even talk about general stupidity and jackassery from the American right.
You stupid jackass!
So join me every Saturday evening, 6 to 9 p.m. Central at my Ustream home, Mic Check Radio. Come on in, it'll be loads of fun.
Gee, I sure hope there's a happy ending. I love a happy ending.
And now, live on your computer machine, it's Adam Hebert with Mic Check Radio.
Fuck yeah! And we are back, and I hope you all enjoyed that little, what should we call that, Wes? That little lesson. That was dedicated to Bill O'Reilly. Homage. Bill, don't be an ass. It's Christmas. You know, but are we ready to continue? Because this just gets so funny. Like I said, so I'm so upset that I didn't get the first part because he's just like, I don't hate you, I respect you, I just disagree with you, and he just gets ruder and more dickish as this goes on.
It is Bill O'Reilly.
Yeah. So here we go.
This is so unreasonable. You are so unreasonable.
No, it's not unreasonable.
Frightening.
It is unreasonable to ask to be respected.
The government has to not take sides. Everybody is equal. Everybody has the same rights.
It's a federal holiday. Why don't you get off your butt and get it revoked? And see how far you go. Of course you don't, because your view is insane.
No, it's not.
You can celebrate Christmas without being a Christian.
Actually, you can celebrate Christmas without being a Christian by force because you can't go to work, you can't get your mail, you can't go to the bank.
You can't go to work?
No, you can't.
You can't?
No, you can't.
Yes, you can.
Oh, really? Are you going to be working on Christmas?
Yeah.
No.
Of course not. See, Bill O'Reilly makes enough money that he doesn't have to work on Christmas. He doesn't have to get some time and a half.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I think he's pretty well off. And to be honest, you have to understand that most of these, especially talk shows, definitely in December, they tend to go on breaks. So most likely he'll be off for like 2 or 3 weeks.
Mm-hmm.
Well, probably a week or two.
Probably going on vacation with his family somewhere, which is cool.
I know that, like generally all the talk show hosts, talk radio hosts, go on break from, like I think it's next Friday, they go on vacation, and they're off until a week after New Year's.
Shit, man, I want to be a talk show host on the cable network.
No, I'm talking...
It's like school.
I'm talking
you get
like
breaks in certain times of the year.
Stephanie Miller, Randy Rhodes.
I'm a newscaster. I'm going to take my couple weeks and chill out.
Like I said, we're working on that. Once we get the Soros check, it'll happen. So here is cut 5, and this is epic.
So
which is
you
illegal.
and your merry band of fascists.
Fascists.
Right? Yeah.
Fascists.
You get it revoked.
You call me a fascist.
Absolutely.
I am a patriot, sir. I am a patriot who's taking the crazy notion that everybody in this country is equal and that the government has to treat everybody fairly.
Therefore,
That's
they
fascism.
should banish Christmas trees.
I did not say banish Christmas trees. I said
from the public square. That's what you do. That's what you want.
That's not what I do. Stop telling me what I do.
All right. The record shows
equality. We demand equality from the government, and it's our constitutional right, and you should be demanding it along with me.
Yeah, so he says earlier, if you remember, don't tell me what I think. I said I'm okay with it. then he goes on and he tells this guy, Bill O'Reilly says, "I know what you think. I know how you feel. I know what you want." What an arrogant prick.
Yeah, I mean, like Bill O'Reilly, it's why would you have an interview if you already apparently know what he's going to say? Why even interview the guy?
So
I'd be frustrated too.
I mean, and here's I've said this before, I think, but my impression of Bill O'Reilly is he's a smart guy. No one can be that successful and be smart. And not be smart. I think he's a smart guy. I think he's just got this temper issue that keeps him from being a productive, normal human being.
He's not an idiot. He's just a dick.
Yeah, he's an asshole.
Some people are just jerks.
And guess what? We've got more of Bill O'Reilly.
The war on Christmas is very, very real. And if you ask me, in addition to some grouchy, misanthropic heathen atheists, it has to do with, at the root of it, it has to do with two things: abortion and the gay rights agenda, because Christianity is against those things, and it's subtle, but that's why that's why it's so pronounced in recent years.
It's not it's Christianity. 100% agree. I absolutely agree 100% that it's the diminishment of Christianity is the target and Christmas is the vehicle, because the secularists know their opposition to their agenda. Legalized drugs is in that as well. Comes primarily from the Judeo-Christian traditionalist people. It's not so much a church, it's a mindset. Do you agree with that, Gutfeller, or is this way over your head?
All right, first of all,
I feel my IQ dropping.
First of all, let's say that Bill O'Reilly's right, and this is a backlash against Christianity. Maybe the Christians should take a hint and stop trying to force their beliefs on everyone else.
Maybe.
Well, I mean, there was a story that was in the news recently. We might have talked about it, about an atheist group that, through the system, I mean, totally legally, rented some space for a Christmas display, and they didn't put anything up because they didn't want to put up a display. They said, we don't believe in it, and they were punished for this. They had their thing taken away, and that is an example of the discrimination we're talking about. They got the space to do with as they pleased.
Let's see, what will we do next? We already did that one. I've just got so much material, it's not even funny. Here's another War on Christmas bit. This one is from the Liberty Council radio show.
Yeah, they have Frosty the Snowman, Santa Claus, but baby Jesus is not there anymore. Baby Jesus is now stuffed in the closet. What an irony at this time of year where Jesus gets put in the closet. And in California, where we're litigating out there, they're wanting to make homosexuality the preferred method or topic of counseling discussions. Yeah. But anything contrary to that would be banned. This is just an irony of unimaginable proportions. But this controversy over Christmas illustrates when we say that there's a war on Christmas and somebody says, mockingly, there's no war on Christmas. This is a war on Christmas. This is discrimination. It is viewpoint-based discrimination.
What is happening in the Florida Panhandle is a microcosm of what is happening in our larger society. It is a metaphor for what we're seeing in our larger society. As people who are engaged in all form of aberrant sexual behavior are encouraged to and are in droves through activists and so forth coming out of the closet, to use their terminology, Christians are being forced into the closet. And here, literally, the baby Jesus is forced and crammed into the closet.
Refresh my memory. When have we ever forced Christians into the closet? You could be a Christian if you want. I don't give a duck fuck. Just don't wave your Christian dick in my face. Leave me the fuck alone!
What gets me, though, is the whole Jesus in the closet. It's like, Oh my!
Oh,
Are you wishing that Jesus was in the closet?
Oh my! That was actually a good imitation. We should send that to George Takei. See if that gets. We should send this segment to George Takei. See if he may put it up on his Facebook. I doubt he will.
We should see if we can get him to record an "Oh my" for us.
Oh yeah, you know what? I think we should. George Takei, this one is for you. Oh my. Anywho, no, it's this idea that because they're no longer getting the preferential treatment that they were used to for 50, 60, 70, 80, 90, 100 years, that they're being discriminated against. No, we are taking back rights you should have never had. You do not get preferential treatment from the government. You do not get to pass laws based on your religious beliefs that dictate the behavior of other people.
You know what would be hilarious to me? That your rant just made me think about this. It's a little tangential. It would be hilarious to me if a Muslim group tried to get alcohol illegal in some of these dry counties, or the recently legalized liquor by the drink. Because, Islam also, Muslims, at least fundamental ones, don't drink. So, it's within their sphere of religious influence politically. It would be hilarious watching the backlash from the same people who, because of their Christian beliefs, wanted alcohol illegal in the first place.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, beautiful.
I like that idea.
That is fantastic.
Indeed.
Quite.
So, all right. I've got a question for y'all. How do you know your political party is in deep shit?
People start dropping like flies.
No.
When some of your former governors become Democrats?
Well, yeah, that could be a sign, but how about this? When Ann Coulter actually starts making sense.
Adam,
Yeah.
are you feeling okay?
I thought you didn't do drugs, Adam.
Yeah, that's dangerous. She's actually been making a lot of sense this year, which is very, very
scary,
very worrying for me.
Yeah.
Because
people can grow up.
All right, so here's
they can. I guess Bill Maher's been getting some of that.
He's been filling her.
He's been satisfied lately.
He's been filling her with his liberal seed. Sorry. I need a cough button. I need like a professional radio studio complete with cough buttons. So whenever I try to do those imitations, I don't, All right. So here's Ann Coulter talking to Sean Hannity about the fiscal cliff.
And finally, the most important point is in 2 years, we've got to take back the Senate, and in 4 years, we've got to take the presidency.
But I don't want to talk about the election.
All Republicans have to concentrate on is making sure that this economy gets blamed on Obama. And there are things they can do, like propose tax cuts, or rather tax hikes for the truly rich, i.e. Warren Buffett, no more state and local tax deductions, cut out that Hollywood phony accounting. Let's go after the 1% of the 1%. Forget the 1% of income.
There's a lot of good ideas there, and I can't deal with every one of them, but they also have to stand up for the country going broke. Take a stand against America going broke.
But they can do that by giving speeches, by making clear this is not a good deal, we are against this, and raising taxes on the people who are the job creators.
How about they pass a bill that extends all the Bush tax cuts? What's wrong with that?
They could, but it'll be rejected in the Senate.
Okay,
and the question is then what happens?
Well, then who's to blame?
Okay, fine, let's do that. But in the end, at some point, if the Bush tax cuts are repealed and everyone's taxes go up, I promise you Republicans will blame for it. It doesn't mean you cave on everything, but there's some things Republicans do that feed into what the media is telling America about Republicans.
Wait a minute, I want to make sure I understand. So are you saying then, for PR purposes, that they should give in to Obama on the tax rate?
Not exactly. Well, yeah, I guess I am. But I think you should have...
capitulate to Obama, who's... We don't have a revenue problem, Ann.
We lost the election, Sean.
We won the election in the House, Ann.
Okay, first of all, like I said, Ann Coulter making sense, very scary. Second of all, you did not win the election in the House. You rigged the fucking game. You don't get...
I just want to say, Ann Coulter, I never thought I'd say this, but thank you. Thank you.
Also,
one of you said it.
Also, I smell desperation in Sean Hannity's voice.
I know. You don't.
Is it just me?
Yeah, but
Hannity's
let
in
me
full-on
finish.
panic mode.
Let me finish this thought. You do not get credit for winning a rigged game. The GOP governors gerrymandered their districts, so Republicans will be guaranteed to win. You don't get credit for that. You don't get credit for cheating.
Yeah. That's the only reason why they have the House. That is it. The only reason. If they, they're kind of like missing the fact that they lost like 9 or 10 seats in the House. That majority
the Democratic Party in the House won by over 1 million votes. The only problem is that because it's done by districts and it's not done by proportion of the vote, the Republicans still maintain their majority. You don't get the credit for that. You cheated. You stole. You loser. Good day.
Holy shit, you're pissed off today.
I am.
Game over, man. Game over.
Maybe you should stop by Washington or Colorado, sir.
That's it, man. Game over, man. It's game over.
I'm tired of this meme. Oh, we won the House. The people said, it's like Boner will say, the people sent back a Republican House, so clearly we have a mandate to be dicks. No, you cheated. You stole. Shut the fuck up and go away.
Yeah, I mean, the House by its nature is going to be a little stupider. There's a scene that I loved. I saw Lincoln not that long ago, and one of the scenes or lines that I loved, I wish I could remember the exact quote, but essentially someone was describing the House of Representatives as just the ridiculous melee of government. And that's just what it is. It's the lower house. It's going to be stupider. Stupider means Republican. Sorry.
And
it's too bad that we can't have like the Parliament in Britain where we have people telling each other to bugger off.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, pretty much. Stupid is as stupid does.
Believe me, I would love to be able to walk onto the floor of the United States House of Representatives, point to John Boner, and say, "Fuck you, Bob!" I'm just saying.
Well, he has to watch out too. We're getting some younger some representatives in there. You might get away. You might have a couple people there that aren't like geriatric with walkers.
That's true. And I will say, I mean, as much as it weirds me to say this, there is hope for the Republican Party. There's a lot of younger Republicans in my area who are represented by the new editorial guy. Like Chattanooga, the Chattanooga paper has a left and a right page, and there's left wing views on the left, and right wing views on the right. But the new guy who does the right wing page, I don't agree with 80% of what he says, but he's smart. And he's not a dick.
Yeah, there are guys like that out there. Like there was this guy that recently came out with I forget what it was. It was some guy who came out with this thing about where copyright is not working, and he released this article, and right afterwards, they came down on him like a ton of bricks. Like, how dare you say something that makes sense?
Well, yeah.
And this was a Republican, a younger Republican.
Well, I agree. I do think copyright laws need to be figured out. There is no reason, for example, why did I get, we talked about this before. I got flagged over a recording of the moon landing. That's public. That is in the that is in the public domain. And I wrote, on YouTube, and I said, this is the public domain. Here's how I know that. This is a NASA recording. All NASA recordings are public domain. You can't, just because someone slaps a price tag on it and says, this is mine, doesn't mean they get, they own the copyright.
Yeah, we could probably do a whole show about copyright issues and pirating.
Oh, yeah. That might actually be.
And all the other assorted issues that goes along with that.
the internet episode.
Yeah. Well, it's
Yeah.
like, you know,
Yeah,
Adobe,
actually.
you know, you got companies like
Yeah,
Adobe.
we should do that.
Companies like Adobe, oh, we lose so much money to pirating. How about making your product cheaper so people can actually afford it? It's like, as a college student, I have to have Office. I can't afford to pay $200 for it, though.
Oh yeah, I just had this come up recently because it's around finals week here, and Amber's an accounting student, and she had to get her hands on a copy of QuickBooks, and you know, a college student, single mom, not very rich, and this software is like a couple $100. How do you expect that to work? What other option do you have?
Yeah.
And I see what you said, Ace. I will try to stop yelling. I just, you know.
Yeah, he's channeling Righteous Joy tonight.
Yes.
I'm tired of these Republican assholes. You know, it's like Rush Limbaugh says, if Obama wins re-election, I'm going to move to Costa Rica. Well, then why are you still here? Why are you still here? Go away.
Yeah. Just do it, yo.
Well, how big is the whale population in Costa Rica anyway?
But I mean, it's like, you know, no, what the hell? That's not it. What the hell? No. I don't know what's going on. Things are not working as they should. But I was going to play the Rush Limbaugh clip. You know, shut up, but just shut the hell up until you win an election. Shut up, and that's my advice to the Republicans. Until you win the election, shut the fuck up and do what you're told. We run the show now, motherfuckers.
Yeah, you know what I don't get is Washington runs in this perpetual election cycle. Why aren't these assholes worried about 2014?
Because they're idiots.
I mean, shouldn't they be worried about what's going to happen in 2014? They're going to have most of their teabagger, psychopath, nut jobs up for re-election.
Well, the thing is that the House is pretty much rigged. The Senate is another story. They're not going to be able to get at the Senate if they keep moving to the right. The problem is they have all these cheerleaders saying the problem with the Republican Party isn't that we're too moderate. It's that we're not conservative enough.
Right, they're double downing crazy.
Exactly.
Yeah, it's like, hey, it didn't work. Let's do it more.
And this is what I've always said about Republicans. They look at the short-term game, and this is what's going on in Michigan. We're going to be talking about Michigan at the top of the hour. This is what's going on in Michigan. Rick Snyder's like, I can do this. I can get right the word pass. And he doesn't realize there's going to be a huge backlash. His ass is going to get kicked. The Republicans are going to be thrown out of power.
That is a very strong possibility that if they don't turn the ship around, they could become the next Whig Party.
I've said it before. That if they don't pull their heads out of their ass, they will be done by 2020. They will be, because once they become a regional party, that's it for them. And they have Indiana. They have, that's about it. That's the only real state above the Mason-Dixon line in the Midwest and East that they have. If they lose Indiana, they're done.
Well, it's more than that. Basically, the Republican Party, since Reagan, has been running on this whole Southern strategy.
Mm-hmm.
And, the way the process works, especially with the Electoral College, is that denser populated areas, like, say, New York or California, those count a bit more than, say, South Dakota.
Mm-hmm.
So that's kind of running against them. It kind of hurts them. That's why we had this whole thing with Paul Ryan, moping about how, urban cities voted for Democrats.
Yeah. If you want to win elections, you got to appeal to the majority of the people. Anyway.
And the majority of the people live in cities.
Mm-hmm. We will be right back.
That's why the way the House
this.
is organized sucks.
Yeah. Anyway, we will be back after this. It's the Green News Report with our dear friends Brent Freeman, Desi Doyen. and then we'll be back for some more Republican jackassery and shenanigans. And then War, what good is he for? Everything. He'll be joining us at the top of the third hour for the remainder of the show. Talk about what's going on in Michigan. We will be right back after this. This is Mike Check Grady with me, Adam Hebert, Wes Karskadin, John Kendall, and Rob Poole. We'll be back right after this. Woo.
We have Mike Check Radio with Adam Hebert.
It's Thursday, December 6, 2012.
The outcome of our work is not about what our political masters want. It is about what is demanded of us by 7 billion people.
Crunch time at the UN climate talks in Doha, Qatar.
What happens in the Arctic doesn't always stay in the Arctic.
More dire warnings from the Arctic. Pollution regulations really do save lives. Plus,
here at Exxon, we hate your children.
Yep, they do. All of that and more straight ahead from BradBlog.com. I'm Brad Friedman.
And I'm Desi Doyen.
Stand by for 6 minutes of independent green news, politics, analysis, and snarky comment.
When it comes to global warming, Governor Jan Brewer has her doubts.
You know, I probably don't believe that it's man-made. I believe that, that weather and certain elements are controlled maybe by different things.
Hey, go easy on the science there, Poindexter. We're only human. This is your Green News Report. Okay, Des, global warming caused by probably other things, maybe?
Yes, that was very scientific of Arizona Governor Jan Brewer there, wasn't it?
Yes, it was.
Yes, well, anyway, it is crunch time as the UN climate talks in Doha, Qatar conclude this weekend. The divide remains entrenched between developed countries and developing countries and how much each will cut their emissions of heat-trapping gases as the 193 member countries negotiate a comprehensive treaty to be completed by 2015 that would take effect in 2020. The talks have stalled on funding, with China leading a demand that rich nations, which have historically contributed the most emissions, should commit to giving billions more in contributions to a special fund that will assist poor countries with adaptation and green technology. Thursday, Nadarev Sanyo, leading the delegation from the Philippines, actually broke down when speaking of the record super typhoon Bopa that has killed hundreds in the Philippines just this week.
I appeal to the whole world. I appeal to the leaders from all over the world to open our eyes to the stark reality that we face. The outcome of our work is not about what our political masters want. It is about what is demanded of us by 7 billion people. If not us, then who? If not now, then when? If not here, then where?
A rare note of harmony was sounded, however, on Thursday. The Guardian reports the talks resulted in a tentative agreement to make fast reductions in emissions of short-lived but powerful pollutants known as soot, methane, and ozone. While governments argue policy in Doha, on the other side of the world, the science of climate change is unfolding right now at the fall meeting of the American Geophysical Union, including how global warming from greenhouse gas emissions is changing the Arctic much, much faster than previously predicted. The new Arctic report card from NOAA confirms that the Arctic lost a record amount of snow and ice last year, and that's already causing measurable biological changes in Arctic species. That's according to Dr. Jane Lubchenco, Chief Administrator of the National Oceanic and Atmospheric Administration.
What happens in the Arctic doesn't always stay in the Arctic. We're seeing Arctic changes in the ocean and the atmosphere that affect weather patterns, for example, here in the United States. We know that melting of ice in Greenland can contribute to sea level rise around the world. And many of the biological changes that we are seeing underway sometimes affect biological systems elsewhere.
The potential impacts of climate change on global security were also featured at the AGU meeting. Here's Chief Science Advisor to Britain's Department of the Environment, Sir Robert Watson, who was actually quite blunt.
The potential of displacing tens of millions of people. There's potentially going to be less food, less clean water in areas that are already short of food, short of clean water. Therefore, climate change coupled with other stresses, population increase, poor governance in many parts of the world could lead potentially to conflict and migration.
Poor governance in parts of the world. Was he talking about Governor Jan Brewer by any chance? I mean, there's a lot of people here who are running around with their hair on fire, and people like her just aren't listening.
Right. They're absolutely ignoring what the science says we are heading for.
And what scientists across the globe are shouting.
A new study proves air pollution regulations don't just clear the air, but also save lives. A new Harvard study shows that regulations reducing air pollution from industrial sources actually increased life expectancy across the U.S., most especially in poor and urban areas where factories and power plants are primarily located. The study also concludes that new pollution regulations, tightening standards of allowable air pollution from big industries, would actually provide even more benefits in saving lives and reducing healthcare costs. Finally,
Here at Exxon, we hate your children.
a blunt new ad campaign takes aim at oil giant ExxonMobil.
We all know the climate crisis will rip their world apart, but we don't care because it's making us rich.
Climate advocacy groups Oil Change International and EnvironmentalAction.org produced the commercial, which calls for ending billions in U.S. taxpayer subsidies for big oil. They're raising funds to air the commercial on TV stations around the country at ExxonHatesYourChildren.com.
Talk about rather blunt. Check out that whole commercial at our website, greennews.bradblog.com. While you're there, please consider a donation to help sponsor the Green News Report so we can stay on your public airwaves. From bradblog.com, I'm Brad Friedman.
And I'm Desi Doyen.
And this has been your Green News Report.
Hi, this is Kenny Pick from Turn Up the Night. Here are some of the hijinks you can expect from my show.
Hey, McCain was born in Panama.
Yeah, McCain was born in Panama, but, you know, there we go.
And they were fine with that.
Well, he was born of American parents, and it was in a U.S. territory.
Yeah. McCain was actually grandfathered in, and what I mean by that is he was born an old man.
Yes. It was kind of like Benjamin Button.
Turn Up the Night with Kenny Pick, streaming live every Tuesday and Friday from 7 to 10 p.m. Eastern at Radio or Not, Talk Radio 1, Progressive Blend Radio, and KennyPick.com.
You never know who or what you'll hear when you listen to the Nicole Sandler Show at RadioOrNot.com.
Bill Maher, you're here in Miami on Friday night. You're doing a show at the Fillmore at the Jackie Gleason Theater. They just renamed this theater the Fillmore.
Oh.
And they put up a couple of psychedelic posters. So I guess...
Was it the theater Jackie did his TV show from?
Yes.
Oh, wow.
What I hear they did is put up two of those old Bill Graham posters and renamed it.
Yeah, I can't think of two different icons of show business.
Yeah, really.
Bill Graham and Jackie Gleason.
Yeah, why they just didn't play up the Jackie Gleason aspect, I don't know. But then again, this is South Florida.
Right. Okay.
Welcome to it.
I feel warned.
The Nicole Sandler Show, live Monday through Thursdays at 10 a.m. Eastern, or podcast anytime at RadioOrNot.com.
Look, I'm up to here with cool, okay? I am so amazingly cool. You could keep a sight of meeting me for a month. I am so hip, I have difficulty seeing over my pelvis.
Smarter than Savage and sexier than Limbaugh. This is Adam Hebert on Mic Check Radio.
Yes, we are smarter than Savage and sexier than Limbaugh. Am I right or am I right? Of course, I guess I would be
That's right, you're right.
I would be smarter than Savage. So, Wes, you guys can be sexier than Limbaugh. Although that's a pretty.
I am most certainly sexier than Limbaugh.
I would have to agree, and I don't go that way. So. Before we get back to Republican stupidity and jackassery, I would hate...
Always a favorite on My Tech Radio.
Always a favorite, but I just want to share this. This is a picture... hold on. We should still have audio sound. This is a picture my friend drew me for my birthday. The person... I sent it to via Skype earlier, so everyone else has it, but... this is one of my story characters, Xander, and my friend Dio does an advent calendar every year. Where every day she draws a different Christmas themed picture up till Christmas, and because my birthday's on December 5th, every year on December 5th she puts my story character Xander in her calendar. So, and he is absolutely adorable in this. So, I just had to share that, and so yes, there we go. So, now back to the Republican stupidity and jackassery.
Never in short.
Never.
Never in short demand.
And, if we could just find a way, if we could just find a way to tap that, we would have unlimited renewable energy.
Yeah, we'd be set forever.
Okay, so
I'll get right on tapping that.
I know something else will probably be tapping tonight.
Oh my!
Yeah.
Oh my! All right, so a favorite target of ours is, of course, Grover Norquist, and the funny thing about this is that the GOP shits their pants over a man named Grover.
Proof they just have a Muppet phobia.
Mm-hmm.
So here is Grover Norquist.
Although to be fair, I trust Grover the Muppet more.
Yeah, well.
Yeah.
So here is Grover Norquist. I meant to play this last week, but again, we just had so many great people in here. So here is Grover Norquist talking about Representative Peter King, who is actually trying to do work for the people instead of kissing Grover Norquist's ass.
How dare he?
Yeah, I know, right?
The nature of the modern world is very fast-moving. It's changing a lot. America clearly has huge economic problems, heading for another fiscal cliff. Everyone laughing at you from afar. The American public's sick and tired of all the games going on. And there you, Grover Norquist, a very bright guy, still resolutely saying a pledge is a pledge is a pledge. It cannot be broken. When many of your own party now are saying, you know what, it doesn't make sense to just have this irresolute position anymore.
Well, two things. The pledge is not for life, but everybody who signed the pledge, including Peter King, who tried to weasel out of it, shame on him, as the New York Sun said today. I hope his wife understands that commitments last a little longer than 2 years or something. The commitment from the pledge...
Whoa, hang on. That was a bit below the belt, Grover.
Hey, if you think a commitment only is not for as long as you make it for, the commitment for the pledge, as Peter King well knows when he signed it, is that as long as you're in Congress, you will rein in spending and reform government, not raise taxes. It's not for 500 years or 2 generations. It's only as long as you're in the House or the Senate. If he stayed...
Okay, so first of all, what an asshole. I mean, don't get me wrong. I'm not a big fan of Peter King, but that was just out of line. I mean...
Well, it's completely irrational to ask any politician for this, I will not ever, ever, ever use this strategy pledge. Maybe they'll find out the strategy they had before didn't work and they gotta do it.
And again,
Right.
It's this false choice between reforming government or raising taxes. Again, we don't have a spending problem, we have a revenue problem. The problem is we've drunk the Reagan Kool-Aid. We believe this idea that tax cuts magically pay for themselves and bring in money. No, they're an expense.
No,
Absolutely.
the problem is that we have this culture of tax dodging in this country, especially upon, the so-called job creator class. Let's call them that, job creator class.
Well, I mean, because if you think about it, because the argument they like to make for the trickle-down economics is that, there will be more transactions if you lower taxes on corporations and the wealthy, because they'll be spending that money and they will be paying that expenses and taxes. The problem is they either just sit on their money or send it overseas for cheaper labor, which then hurts our economy. Exactly. It might have worked in a less global time. In the 1700s, it could have been an okay strategy.
It might have worked. But in today's world, We have places like Ireland and, the Cayman Islands. We have, these tax havens. And these corporations, they just set up shell companies and they just run their money through, these, tax havens.
Here's how we fix that. We say if you do business in the United States, you pay U.S. taxes. Doesn't matter where your headquarters are. If you make money, you are taxed on income. If you have a U.S. presence, you are taxed. You will pay your taxes, and if you don't, you will be arrested and thrown in jail. Not a nice, cushy federal jail, but butt-pounding, I got raped in the ass jail.
Yeah, we'll send them to Baltimore.
Yeah, let's just drop some of these like Wall Street bankers who are dodging all these taxes. Let's just be like, okay, drop you in inner city Baltimore. See if you get some more desire to pay out poor people.
All right, so oh, sorry, go on.
Or just die.
Crap, I forgot what I was going to say.
All right, so
move along.
So here's Peter King's response to Grover Norquist's knock on his marriage.
Over Norquist, you've had some back and forth with him. You said you didn't feel committed to his anti-tax pledge for more than the first year that you had signed at the first Congress. He made a comment about your marriage, and then you came back and said that he was being a lowlife. What's going on with Grover Norquist these days, and how much influence do you think he still has?
I tell you, there's absolutely no influence with me. I don't think I've ever spoken to him in my life. And I'm trying to think if I've even met him. Maybe I bumped into him somewhere over the years, but I have no contact with him. He means nothing to me. I did sign a pledge, I think it was back in 1996, during the whole conflict with the Clinton administration over the government shutdown, and I was totally opposed to any tax increases at that time. But to say that a pledge on an issue like taxes lasts for a lifetime is absolutely ridiculous. We're not talking about a moral issue like capital punishment or abortion or war and peace. We're talking about an issue where obviously I am opposed to tax increases as a general rule. However, when you go into negotiations, Ronald Reagan raised taxes a number of times because that's what he had to do to close the deal. And I'm saying that if we need more revenues, I'm leaving that to the Speaker of the House, John Boehner, to negotiate the best deal he can with President Obama. And then this whole thing with Norquist come up out of nowhere. And again, going back to what you said, the fact that he brought my wife into it, I don't think he's ever met me, certainly never met my wife, and he better hope he doesn't. She'll knock his head off.
I would pay to see that, by the way.
Honestly, I think the more Grover keeps mouthing off, I think the greater the chances are we're going to see him get assassinated.
Oh, believe.
I mean, that might be going a little bit too far, but kind of digging deep. But he'll
at the very least lose all relevance.
Well,
he's heading that way, especially depending on how the whole Cliff nonsense goes. Yeah, he might be heading to the irrelevance.
And that's what he's fighting. He realizes that, so he's fighting to keep Republicans to adhere to his pledge, because the more and more they say, wait a minute, this is stupid. Why are we answering to an unelected asshat? He loses power. So here's one last Grover Norquist clip. Grover Norquist on MSNBC.
Democrat partisan
part of that
today.
Reasonableness is actually putting revenue on the table, which Speaker Boehner has said multiple times he is open to doing. That includes closing loopholes and ending deductions. These are not words that are political kryptonite, apparently, for the Republican Party. That has stoked the ire of some on the sort of the ends of the conservative spectrum, including Eric Erickson. They have said that this is the GOP selling out. Do you agree with that or not?
Not at this point. We were in exactly this point 2 years ago when the same things were discussed with Obama during the debt ceiling increase. And at the end of the day, we ended up with $2.5 trillion in spending savings and not $1 of tax increase. Why? Because Obama overplayed his hand. He's doing it again, just as he did in 2008. He thought the country had given him a blank sheet of paper to work on. He did the stimulus spending. He went from 70% support down to below 50. He lost the House. Now he gets reelected with less strength, not against a war hero, but against a guy from Massachusetts. And the Republicans have the House, and he thinks somebody made him king, and he's going to have more taxes, more spending, and more regulations. It's a real problem for him. He doesn't have the mandate he thinks he does. So I think he takes us over the cliff because he's got blinders on. He doesn't see where he stands in the universe.
Okay, there.
You know who doesn't see where he stands in the universe? Grover Norquist. You are a pissant. You are.
And you are the reason why we are going to go over the cliff.
You're a pissant,
Absolutely
Grover.
so.
You're a pissant. Go away. Pack up your bags and go to whatever, Christians move to Iran. You'll like it there until they stone you to death for not being Muslim. You don't like taxes? Go to Somalia. I don't care. Stop fucking up my country. This is our country. We won the election. You lost. Shut the fuck up or go away. Those are your two choices. Those are your choices.
And I have to say, there is a side of the whole fiscal cliff drama that nobody really is talking about. Basically, I'm going to try to be short with this, but there are basically two parts of the fiscal cliff. First, there's the taxes, which is what everyone is really focusing on. That includes the marginal tax rates, the income tax rates. It also includes the capital gains and derivatives, which is, the 1%'s main source of income. I think in reality, we're not really talking about that. But that's going to go up from 15 to 20%. And that means jackasses like Mitt Romney are going to be paying more for their money. The other side of it, too, is we're not hearing about the sequester very much. As you remember, a year ago when we had the whole debt ceiling fucking circus. Let's just call it that. They had, we had the super whatever committee and they couldn't do shit. So there's 600 million or so in defense cuts. That's the real thing. That's the real issue for the GOP. They don't want that.
Well, no. Well,
they could give a 10 shit really about Medicare. We cut defense. Oof.
So here, let's get an explanation about what the fiscal cliff really is. Here is Mr. Burns from The Simpsons explaining to us simpletons, us peons, us morons, if you will, what the fiscal cliff is really about.
Yeah, this is...
More tea, sir?
No. Any word from Karl Rove?
Sir, despite what he's been telling you, it's over. Romney lost.
Damn it. I guess it's time I explain to these good people the upcoming fiscal cliff. Think of the economy as a car and the rich man as the driver. If you don't give the driver all the money, he'll drive you over a cliff. It's just common sense. Furthermore, rich people feel things more deeply than the common man. And we've got to change our approach to immigration. I have a progressive proposal to let into this country 200 grimy Irishmen a year. I've got lots of potatoes that need peeling and stables to be mucked out.
Sir, the Instapols are in. You're just digging yourself deeper.
Well, then let me just say this. Marco Rubio es un pañuelo rosa.
I'm afraid you just made things even worse.
How? Why?
You just said Marco Rubio is a pink handkerchief.
This public service announcement is over. Execute the cameraman.
So yeah,
exactly. Give the driver the money, or we're gonna drive the whole thing off the cliff.
This is the best thing that I've heard about the fiscal cliff. It was from Stephanie Miller, I think, and it's basically the Republicans are holding the American economy hostage, and this time they don't have the gun.
Yeah. We have the gun.
So here is Charles.
And we are going to put Grover down.
Yeah, we're,
Old Grover, no.
Yeah, sometimes it's just got to be done. Let's do that again. That was fun.
I'm hit.
I think I like guns now that I can use them to shoot Republicans.
You're crazy, man. Adam's going on a shooting rampage in the office.
Everybody run. The insane liberals got a gun.
Trigger happy.
Everybody thought it would have been me.
All right, so here is Charles.
Well, I
Krauthammer.
mean, at least if Wes went on a shooting rampage, nobody would have to miss with his mediocre shooting skills.
At least I wouldn't have too hard of a target to hit.
Oh!
All right, so here's...
That's what I told your mom last night.
Seriously, leave Karskad's mom out of this.
Yes, let's leave.
She's a nice lady.
Let's leave.
And she didn't put me in jail for providing young Karskad with beer.
It was Rob who started me down this path.
Yeah, I've heard the story, but that story is for another time. Here is Charles Krauthammer about the fiscal cliff.
It's not just a bad deal. This is really an insulting deal. What Geithner offered, what you showed on the screen, Rudy Lee was offered easier terms at Appomattox, and he had lost the Civil War.
All right, first of all, that's okay. Well, let's get this straight, fucko. You lost. You don't get the dictate terms. You don't get, we will listen to your ideas and we'll nod. We'll pretend like we're listening. But you don't matter. You're insignificant.
Right. And this is the thing that I've been reading too lately. It's like, why are we just like, it's basically like, we could probably go a lot further. We could do throw some more crazy ideas out there. Although I would say that the idea of stripping Congress's ability to invoke the debt limit is pretty ballsy. Although I don't think that'll ever happen, but it would be nice if it did.
Well, I think they're just learning how to negotiate now. They're putting out a hard offer first.
Yeah. Although it could be a lot harder.
So, yeah.
Well, sure.
I think that we'll cap this insanity with, I hate to do it to you. Here's Sarah Palin.
Hey.
Oh.
A very scary proposal was recently revealed, too, by Geithner, essentially saying let the president have free reign on raising the debt ceiling to whatever level he wants it.
Can you believe that?
That's a very scary thought because Barack Obama is a socialist. He believes in socialism, in redistributing wealth, in confiscating hard-earned dollars of our small businessmen and women so that they cannot invest their dollars and hire more people and grow and expand. Instead, he believes in these failed socialist policies. And I say that not to personally condemn our president, but I say it because I face reality, and
I'm not trying to say he's a socialist, but he is totally a socialist. All right, look, you stupid bitch.
I have to say, as an actual socialist, I am insulted.
Barack Obama is a centrist technocrat.
You want to know? Okay, here's how you shut a Republican up. What's socialism? Brain has performed an illegal action. Abort, shut down, or retry.
It's like some bad stuff, man. It's when like the government comes and you only get potatoes and vodka.
Wait, abort sounds like abortion. That's bad.
I can't do that.
Don't abort.
My Southern Circuit's fried.
404, brain not found.
That was good. I mean, it's like I said. I've always said, look, why is anyone listening to this woman? She's an idiot. She got, she lost for vice president. She quit before she finished her first term as governor. And this is who passes for an intellectual on the right.
She has a vagina.
Yeah. She's she has the gravitas of a Fox News anchor. Which means to say she has titties.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. With their own gravitational pull. All right, so all right, we're done with the fiscal cliff, but here's a whopper. This one's from Brian Fisher, talking about, because they're talking about, oh my God, the football player last weekend killed his girlfriend, and of course everyone was like, it's not our fault that guns are everywhere. It's her fault for not having a gun. How stupid are you, liberals? So here is Brian Fisher.
This whole concept of using a weapon for self-defense is rooted in the teaching of Christ. There was a time the night he was betrayed, he told his disciples, look, I'm going to be numbered with the transgressors. You're identified with me, so you are going to be numbered with the transgressors. You are going to be thought of, regarded as a criminal. There may be a time when you will have to defend yourself with lethal force. So if you'd have a sword, he says, my recommendation, Jesus Christ said this to his own disciples, my recommendation to you, if you don't have a sword, if you don't have a weapon of lethal force that you can use in self-defense, sell your cloak and go buy one. Now, it wasn't an offensive weapon. Jesus wasn't telling, why don't you get this weapon so you can go rip off the Nazareth 7-Eleven, or so you can go to war in my name. This is for self-protection. So our Second Amendment is rooted in the teaching of Jesus Christ. So we've got a legal principle there that is...
All right. That's just stupid. Jesus also...
I just dirt.
Yeah, Jesus also said if you draw your sword, you will die by the sword. So Jesus Christ, not known for his... What is it with Republicans and violence?
Treat your neighbors as you would treat yourself.
What is
Turn the other cheek.
What is it with these conservatives and violence? I mean, it's like they just get this erection thinking about hurting someone.
Yeah, they get a death boner.
Death boner.
That's my term. There's a certain subgroup of people on kind of in gun culture in general. I call them death boners because they're people who just seem to get chubby at the idea of shooting somebody. Mm-hmm. And this is the same mentality that brings this in. And this is why people who like guns get a bad name, because not all of us have death boners.
And I am grateful you don't have one.
I just have a regular boner. Oh yeah.
Too much information, Wes. Too much information. All right, we're almost. I mean, boy, did those first 2 hours just go by. We will be back shortly with war and a surprise visitor, Wes Smith, who apparently thought we needed him for tonight, but no, that's next week. But we're gonna bring him in anyway. Why not, right? So,
sure.
The more the merrier. I don't think we can have 8 people like we did last week. We can handle 6. Yeah,
we'll be all right.
So, of course. So anyway, this is Mike Check Radio with me, Adam Hebert, Rob Poole, John Kendall, and of course, Wes Kurskan, the most badass co-host of World Talk Radio. We'll be back after this, where we will talk about the shenanigans in Michigan, of course, asshole of the week, and we'll answer the question: will President Obama build a Death Star? All that coming up in the final hour of this week's edition of Mike Check Radio with Adam Hebert.
Many Bothans died to bring us Adam Hebert on Mike Check Radio.
Me Show with DJ Downtown and Eddie Herradura. Live from our nation's capital every Sunday at 5 p.m. Eastern with hilariously scathing inches from the Beltway analysis of this week's political and social developments. The More Me Show at ProgressiveBlendRadio.com and RadioOrNot.com.
What the hell? Are you stuck at home on a the hell? Are you stuck at home on a Saturday night with nothing to do again? Then join me, my co-hosts, and my guests every Saturday evening for Mic Check Radio with Adam Hebert. Okay. Together we'll discuss the big news of the week from entertainment and politics, talk about the issues that mind, and hey, we'll even talk about general stupidity and jackassery from the American right.
You stupid jackass!
So join me every Saturday evening, 6 to 9 p.m. Central at my Ustream home, Mic Check Radio. Come on in, it'll be loads of fun.
Gee, I sure hope there's a happy ending. I love a happy ending.
Have you checked your mic? If you haven't, somebody else has. That's Adam Hebert on Mic Check Radio.
Fuck yeah! And we are back for a final hour. Again, sorry about that. For some reason, it's not, like I'll try and queue up news from the Great, I keep saying news from the Great Depression, the Howdyland News Bulletin, it's in the list, but it won't play. So I don't know what's going on. We will fix that. So, anywho, we have a special guest, last minute, joining up. Wes Smith, how are you doing?
I am doing fine and dandy.
Did you get home okay after the party? I mean, did the taxi get you home? Yeah.
We managed,
okay,
somehow.
Good.
It was a close call, but we managed.
Let me tell you, if you thought that party was great, wait till the New Year's party.
I'm excited.
I know. I'm so excited. Yeah, and then, of course, so just a reminder, what we're going to do is... Oh, wait. Let's get our introductions out of the way first. Of course, also joining me, John Kendall out of Missoula, Montana.
Hello.
And Rob Poole out of Baltimore, Maryland.
Moo.
Moo.
That's a new one.
And, of course, Wes Kurskad, the most badass co-host in Liberal Talk Radio.
Hello.
And together, with our powers combined, we form the Four Horsemen of the Liberal Apocalypse.
I love it.
Yeehaw!
I'm late, so I guess I get to be the lame,
I told you, you were wrong. You weren't booked for tonight, Wes.
Oh, okay. I thought I was supposed to be here all through December for some reason.
That starts next week. That's okay, though. I was like, hey, he's
awesome.
On. He's ready to go. Let's bring him in. You know how else we're going to bring
Hell
in?
Yeah.
Why not? Throw him to the wild.
Let's get our good friend War in here so we can talk about what's going on in Michigan.
6 makes a party.
6 makes, yeah, it's going to be a par and a tay.
Better take some E.
War, are you there, sir? War?
Yes.
Okay, I was worried there for a second. You broke my heart last week. You didn't RSVP for the party.
I know. That was my mistake.
It's okay. I forgive you. So how, if you don't mind, did you enjoy your trip to our fair city?
Yeah, Chicago was really nice. I went down to the House of Blues there, listened to some guy who really shredded on guitar. Hung around the city for a bit. Most of it was work-related, though. Right. I spent most of my time in a factory. You don't have to go into detail.
I was mostly asking, so wait, you went to the House of Blues and not any of the museums, and you call yourself a nerd.
In my defense, it was like midnight when I went out.
Okay.
Besides, the House of Blues is awesome.
Yeah.
Yeah, really. What's wrong with the House of Blues? What's wrong with you?
I will say
Sounds fun as hell.
the Field Museum isn't open at midnight, so okay, we'll forgive that nerd transgression. Anyway, Wes? War, you're on, of course, with our usual co-hosts, Wes Karskadin, John Kendall, and Rob Poole.
Hi.
Or, as we are now calling ourselves, the Four Horsemen of the Liberal Apocalypse.
Yeah, I could see that.
And you're also joined by our special last-minute guest, Wes Smith, who is also out of... I believe you and Wes Smith have been on at the same time before. Correct me if I'm wrong.
Yes,
yeah,
indeed.
I think so.
Yeah, because you were here when we were talking about the birth control idiot back in August.
Yeah.
That was a long
That sounds familiar.
Doesn't that sound like... It's like August. It was only 4 months ago, and it just seems like such a long time. So before we get to the nitty-gritty, where I have to know, how are you handling things? I mean, you're doing okay, right? I mean, I know you weren't a fan of Romney and Ryan, but you're okay, right?
Oh, yes, I'm fine. I'm doing just as well as I was doing a few months ago.
Just making sure. Well, it's just, you know,
Hey, we survived 8 years of George Bush, George W. He'll be okay.
If you need...
Are you better off than you were 5 weeks ago?
Well, the unemployment...
I'm not sure.
The
No.
unemployment rate...
No, I'm not. I'm not better off.
Just in case, War, if you need a hug, we're here for you.
Mm-hmm.
We like you, War.
Thank
we
you.
Respect
I
you.
do appreciate that.
We respect you. So I know, you know, we've discussed unions before, and I think it's kind of unfair to say you're anti-union, but you're kind of you're to the right of me. I mean, I'm pro-union. I believe in unions. I think they serve a function, and please, if I'm describing this wrong, correct me. You know, don't hesitate. But you're kind of the opinion that unions have outlived their usefulness. They're more trouble than they're worth, etc., etc. Is that fair?
Yeah, that's fair.
Okay, good. We're off to a great start. I haven't pissed off my guest. That's always a good sign when I don't piss off the guest, right?
Generally speaking.
I believe so, yes.
So, oh, I'm sorry, War. You sound like you're about to say something.
No.
Okay, good. So, earlier this week, Governor Snyder, and I apologize, there's no audio, but I think that the lack of audio will actually work in our favor just because it means more discussion. Yay! So, earlier this week, Rick Snyder, governor of Michigan, Republican governor of Michigan, did a complete 180 and urged his legislature, I guess it's a House and Senate in Michigan, can't we just agree on 2 terms and use those for all states? Because, you know, it's like some of them it's a House, some of them it's, you know, the Guild of Calamitous Intent, you know. But the Michigan legislature, he called on the Michigan legislature to pass right-to-work legislation during their lame duck session. Now, I mean, they're running the show, blah, 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 but here's the thing. Rick Snyder, during his campaign for governor, said he has no intention of pursuing right to work. He wouldn't ask it to be considered, and he would not sign such a bill if his Republican legislature were to pass one. And, of course, people are pissed. Now, War, I'm trying to think of how to start this civilly without, you know, let's not have a brawl break out. But, I mean, do you not understand why some people would be upset by this? You know, even if they have the votes, I'm not saying it's illegal. I'm saying that this is underhanded, it's dirty, and it smells to high heaven.
Oh, I mean, I guess he did technically go against his word, but it's his right to do what he feels is best.
Okay,
in his position.
But there are studies that show right to work is not for the best of any state. Right to work states are poorer. they are, they're less safe in terms of workplace protections. Right to work is a turkey, basically.
A turkey?
It's not. It doesn't work. Let me see. Hold on. I know I've got
Noble Preacher.
Wait a minute. Where is it? I had like a list of factoids about. No, we don't want to talk about the legitimate rape idiot. Okay, so, on average, right to work states, the workers make less. They don't have workplace protections. They're open to retaliation if they try to unionize. Walmart. And I mean, so let's get rid of that myth right away. Right to work doesn't work. It's a lie. Right to work is about one thing: draining union coffers. Because, I mean, I know you're not a lawyer, War, but here's the thing: when a union negotiates a contract, that contract is for everyone who works in that shop, whether they belong to the union or not. Therefore, if you are not part of the union, you still have to pay for the benefits of that. So, for example, you have to pay for the costs of the negotiation of the contract. You're not paying union dues. You are paying because they had to spend money for that contract that you are now a party to. Does that make sense?
Mm-hmm.
And so right to work says you cannot compel someone to support a union. Why shouldn't you pay into a union if you are benefiting from their work?
Well, I guess because you never asked for them to come in and speak to you on your behalf.
But you are...
I'm not going to pay for everything just because it happens to work out okay for me. What if it didn't work out okay for me? What if I lost my job over it?
You cannot... They legally cannot negotiate a separate contract for non-union people. So why should these people come in and ride on the... I thought Republicans were against freeloaders. Apparently they love freeloaders, but only when they're hurting unions. That's not directed at you.
Well, we like that everyone to be able to make a choice, a decision for themselves. And they made the decision not to join the union.
But they
shouldn't have to pay for everything the union does.
But they're still...
Even if it just so happens to, work out into their benefit.
So would you be okay with them getting a less lucrative contract with less benefits and a lower wage?
Would I be okay with that?
Yeah.
If they're okay with that, then I'm okay with that. It's not my place to tell the worker what to do.
I mean, I'm just saying that right to work... Okay, here's what right to work is about, in my personal opinion, and I know you disagree with me on that. You know this is my stance. Right to work is all about breaking unions. The one bastion of organized liberal... that's the one area where...
Money.
No, I wouldn't say it's just money. What? It's not just about money. It's about manpower. They're organized.
Yeah.
They're...
Influence.
Politics, I mean, don't get me wrong, money is a big part of politics, and I wish it weren't. But it's not just that they have money that they can spend, it's about the fact that they're organized, and that scares the Republican Party crapless. This is about breaking them apart so they can't combat the Republican Party.
Well, I think it's more than that. It also has to do with the little guy standing up against, the owner class.
Yeah, I mean, unions are really one of the only groups that fight for the rights of workers. Workers do have a right to a basic expectation of, this is what a 40-hour week will net you. And I'm not saying, you should not be, I'm not saying everybody should work, but if you are working 40 hours a week, you should have this. And that's a basic social fucking contract.
And again, you are not at war. If you live in a state that doesn't have right to work, the money you pay for that union representation is legally not allowed to be spent on politics. It can't go into their PACs. That is just to cover the costs the union had to incur in negotiating that contract that covers everyone. Legally, that one contract covers everyone, regardless of their union affiliation. And if I'm not making sense, please say so. I'll find another way to explain it.
No, I understand everything.
and it's clear. No worker in the United States can be required to join a union. That's illegal. You cannot say you cannot work here if you don't join a union. You can also not be required to pay union dues. All they're saying is that you are benefiting from our work. You have to contribute, and they prorate it. They basically say you don't have to pay the full dues, but this is the cost. This is the the cost per person that we incurred bargaining. Don't get me wrong. I wish that unions weren't needed, but they are. It's like Walmart. They say, "Oh, we'll listen to you. We love our associates." I go into my boss. I say, "I think I deserve a raise. I can do everything in this store except one thing. I'm the most useful. I think I think that I deserve a raise because I bring more into the store than some other people." And they say, "Sorry, go away." So the idea that right to work actually helps workers because they can talk to the bosses directly, it's not true. It's a myth.
And honestly, if the bosses had their way, we would be pretty much living the same kind of lifestyle the people in China live. We would be living in mass manufactured dormitories.
All right, I'm sorry. I found my right to work factoids. So right to work has no significant impact on attracting employees to a state. That's the first one. Right to work doesn't boost economic growth. There's no relationship between right to work and the state's unemployment rate. Right to work is proven to lower wages. In a right to work state, workers, both union and non-workers, may earn an average of $1,500 less per year. And of course, when you take away a working person's wage, you are taking away their buying power. You are damaging the economy. I can kind of understand this idea that unions maybe have to some extent outlived their usefulness, but the fact matters that a union establishes a floor, not a ceiling, but a floor. This is the minimum you have to meet, basically. Minimum, this is the, I'm sorry, I am blanking out how to explain it. But
Adam?
Yes.
My dad is a landfill attendant in my hometown, and he was going through some stuff with his bosses, who are the commissioners of the county in which we live, and he was approached by the union, and they have been very good in helping him, put a kibosh on all of these things that weren't fair. So, to say they've outlived their usefulness, to me, that's kind of not true.
I would say, if anything, the unions are more important now than ever, considering that they're kind of like a dying breed.
And again,
because we have this culture of deregulation, which includes labor rights for the last 30 years, then that makes the unions more important because somebody has to represent workers against the exploitation of the owners, of the managerial class.
Well, you know what? I've got a War. If you have, I think you were about to say something. So, if you do, while I pull up this clip, say, you feel free to talk amongst yourself. I've got it ready. But War, do you have any thoughts?
Oh, sure. There are certain cases where, of course, unions are helping the workers, but there's other cases that the unions are harming people. I think most of the reason I have such a negative view of the unions is because of my mother. She works at a school in the CSE Special Needs Office, and she's seen the teachers union save a lot of teachers who were terrible, terrible teachers. There was one that came drunk into work 3 days in a row. the school tried to fire him, the union stepped in and actually sued the school. The union ended up winning that for the teacher. She's still working there. And that's just one of many stories in which case it's actually being harmful on some level.
All right.
That's a case where we could agree with you on that.
I was there.
There's also an issue of police unions. Bad cops. It's very hard to get rid of bad cops, and I mean that's an issue where we could agree with you. And we could make some compromise.
Rob, it's a good thing you brought up cops, because this law that Rick Snyder is trying to pass exempts the police unions. So if this is
how odd,
if this is about cleaning up, getting the best, why are they?
That's really strange.
I'll tell you why right now. Because the Fraternal Order of Police and the Fraternal Order of Firefighters tend to vote
conservative.
Thank you. All right, I found the clip, by the way. So here is, War. I'm assuming you know who John Stossel is. I'm assuming everyone here does. So I don't think I have to. I don't think I have to explain this, right? I don't have to explain who he is, right?
I know who Stossel is.
The
turd with a mustache, right?
Yeah, the turd with.
Oh yeah. I know who it is now.
Wait, you didn't know who John Stossel is? Oh crap. Actually, darn it.
Actually, I don't know.
We gotta do asshole of the week. Hold on. I am so sorry, War. This is just today is just a hot mess. We need to get to asshole of the week. So here we go. Who wants to go first, by the way?
Who is he? He's an asshole, sir. I know that. What's his name? Asshole. Major asshole. I knew it. I'm surrounded by assholes.
Were you born an asshole?
Asshole?
Or did you work it your whole life? Either way, it worked out fine. 'Cause you're an asshole tonight.
How many assholes we got on this ship, anyhow?
And I stopped it in time. Woohoo! War, since you're the guest, if you have a nomination, and you do understand that we don't say you can't use this person, you can nominate whoever you like. You understand that, right?
Yeah, unfortunately I don't. I haven't paid much attention to news this week.
That's fine. I just
when in doubt, go with Adam.
Yeah.
Or you can nominate a whole state.
Wow, a whole state.
Actually, we have consulted with Standards and Practices, and you can nominate a state or a country.
Yeah, I've done countries.
Yeah. So, Wes Smith, since you're our other guest, what do you got for us?
Well, let me ask, did you guys discuss the UN Disability Treaty earlier in the show?
Shit.
Awesome. Okay, quick recap. The UN recently brought to the table a treaty that basically would extend the rights to the disabled that the disabled in the United States enjoy. It would extend that. It would make that official UN policy worldwide. The UN would hold its member states to the same level of recognition and treatment of the rights of the disabled that the United States has. The United States, I mean, this is a clear, win for the United States, right? This is moral leadership by America that the rest of the world can emulate, and that the rest of the world's ready to emulate. So, of course, our lovely opposition party voted down the United States' support for this treaty. My asshole of the week is Rick Santorum, because he spearheaded this charge. I know, Rick Santorum, always a popular choice, but he spearheaded this charge.
Spearheaded. You had to say spearheaded, didn't you?
right in there. Just Santorum everywhere. I mean, it was horrible. He spearheaded this charge.
Yeah, and remember who has to clean up the Santorum when we're done? Me.
Always unpleasant.
That's a shit job.
The United States opted not to participate in this treaty with a clear majority vote of 61 for, 38 against, which somehow in our country means we lose.
Yeah.
The United States opted not to participate, thanks in large part to Rick Santorum, who was all over Fox News and all over the media this week, telling these complete fabrications. I mean, that's
All
par
right,
for the
Wes,
course,
I hate to be a rude,
American
but
sovereignty.
you need to wrap it up, Wes. You need to wrap it up.
Right. So Rick Santorum's an asshole.
All right.
Corollary. My iPhone is the hero of the week because I realized Santorum is in its autocorrect.
All right, John, what do you got for us?
My asshole of the week is a dude in Connecticut who was 43. His supervisor gave him a less than promising evaluation. So, what do you suppose that he, would do? Would he be A, logical, or B, would he pull something stupid?
Considering he's asshole of the week, I would say it's B. Is there anyone with me on this one?
Yes. Yes. This was in Connecticut. His logical mind told him to sprinkle a substance used for soaking up spills on roadways into said supervisor's oatmeal.
Whoa.
The chemicals. The chemical can cause cancer. So he threw a fit and sprinkled this stuff in his supervisor's oatmeal, and I just want to know what sick fuck messes with oatmeal like that.
Yeah. All right.
Seriously.
Let's see. So we done Rob, Wes. Oh wait, have we done Rob yet? Rob, did we do you yet?
No.
All right, Rob, asshole of the
No.
week, go.
He's ready this week.
Yeah, really. This time, normally I go for political stuff, but this week, definitely I'm going to go with my scumbag brain. Because...
Wait, with who?
With a special shout out to my scumbag bladder. Because this week I have basically slept like shit.
Okay. I'm sorry to hear that. All right, Wesker Skadden, asshole of the week, please, sir.
Okay. My choice is former detective Kevin Spellman of the NYPD. He ran over a 66-year-old lady, Miss Drain Nicock. Basically, he barreled through a red light in the middle of New York City.
Great idea.
Yes. He, so he killed this old lady. He was found later to have a blood alcohol content about 3 times over the limit with beer cans in his car. And he was mysteriously cleared of all charges because nobody actually alcohol tested him until 5 hours later. So, by calculating what they knew then, they could figure out what it actually was. But nobody had tested it, so the evidence was inadmissible.
The old Cheney technique.
Yes.
All right.
So, running over a lady while driving drunk, that's a shitty cop for you, and that's an asshole.
All right. My asshole of the week is the Christian homeschool movement because they, like Rick Santorum, lobbied heavily against the United Nations Treaty on the Rights of the Disabled because they feel children do not have rights of their own, that they are the property of the adults who have them, and therefore the UN has no right to impose things like children's rights. You have the right to do what I tell you, and I have the right to beat the shit out of you if I don't like the way you sneezed. Shame on you, shame on the Republicans in the Senate. And I mean, if I were Bob Dole, I would be like, I can't believe I actually respected you assholes.
Yeah, with friends like that, who needs enemies?
Bob Dole is pretty much on his deathbed. He's been in Walter Reed off and on for the past couple of years. He's been hospitalized. He's wheeled out onto the floor of the Senate because this was his cause. His cause! And the Republicans' response? Unzip and pee on him. Because a bunch of stupid Christian homeschoolers would be offended. So therefore, the Christian homeschool movement is my asshole of the week. Anyway, we are long for the break. I am sorry. We'll be back, and when we come back, Oscar nominations are out, and you'll never guess who didn't make the cut. And Is President Obama going to build a Death Star? World at Daily is on the case. We'll be right back after this war. Stick around. I think you'll enjoy this Death Star story. So please stick around. Anyway, this is Mike Check Radio with me, Wes Karskadin, Rob Poole, Wes Smith, John Kendall, and War. And we'll be back after this. And what was that?
What was what?
All of a sudden, something cleared up. Anyway, we'll be right back after this.
If Shinji is denser than lead, then
Adam Hebert
is off the atomic scale.
Really?
Yup.
This is Mike Check Radio with Adam Hebert.
Are you living in a progressive talk void? If so, be sure to visit leftwingradiosstations.com. The state-by-state listing is a quick and easy way to find any left-wing talk radio station across America, from sea to shining sea. Your progressive talk nirvana is only a click away at leftwingradiosstations.com. Be sure to like Left Wing Radio Stations on Facebook and share it with your friends. leftwingradiosstations.com. United we stand.
The body of a child, the brain of a genius, the 2000 IQ Killjoy detective.
It's Adam Hebert with Mike Check Radio.
And we are back for our final segment. And sticking with us, thank you very much, both War and Wes Smith. I appreciate it. And of course,
always.
Of course, we have the Four Horsemen of the Little Apocalypse. Me, who represents Righteous Fury. Rob Poole, who represents Logic. John Kendall, who represents Satire, and Wes Smith, who tentatively represents Manliness, although that is in dispute. So
I'll take that.
Did I say Wes Smith? I'm sorry. I meant Wes
Wes
Smith.
Oh!
I'm sorry, Wes Smith. I don't know what I was thinking.
You fool!
I'll take the demotion to Logic. It's okay.
What? I thought that was Rob. Okay, so
yeah, I got that one.
Okay,
get your own.
Let's do this. I want to do this story about the WorldNet Daily wondering about Obama building a Death Star because my soda cup is empty, meaning I can do my Darth Vader impression. So let's do that while we're let's. I think this is going to require the Imperial March, don't you?
Yes.
All right.
Always.
Okay, so story headline is WorldNet Daily wonders: will Obama build a Death Star?
Yes.
A columnist on the
Please.
A columnist on the conservative website WorldNet Daily took a trolling petition on the all right, I'm a hot mess. So on the White House website as a sign that President Obama is perhaps considering building a Death Star. Yes, that Death Star. Let's get the Imperial March back. In a post called, quote, "Will Obama build a Death Star next?" White House urged to construct Star Wars space station. Joe Kovacs wonders if the White House will respond to a petition on its We the People website calling for the construction of a Death Star to begin by 2016. The petition. But at this moment in a galaxy not far away, there is a real-life petition on a White House website pushing for the funding and construction of a Death Star like the one featured in the Star Wars film saga. The petition asks the Obama administration to secure resources and funding for the construction. Quote, "By focusing our defense resources into a space superiority platform and weapon systems such as a Death Star, the government can spur job creation in the fields of construction, engineering, space exploration, and more, and strengthen our national defense." And I am sick of that piece, so stop. There we go. So Kovacs.
How can you be sick of the Imperial March?
It's distracting. It's distracting to have all music. Remember,
okay.
I have ADHD. So Kovacs writes, so far there's no official response from the White House, but there should be one should the petition collect 25,000 signatures by mid-December. As of Monday afternoon, more than 800 people signed the online petition. Interestingly, one of the names on the petition is Darth V from Burlington, North Carolina, who signed the measure December 1st. Am I the only person not surprised by the fact Darth Vader would live in North Carolina?
No.
Sounds about right.
Yeah.
Bunch of crazy evil clinging to a hokey religion.
Yeah. So here is where I do my crappy Darth Vader impression. I find your lack of brains disturbing. You are part of the Rebel Alliance and a traitor. Take him away! I'm sorry, that was not very good.
That was awesome.
But seriously, they actually believe this?
I have to say that I encourage this petition because we need a Death Star.
We do.
Only as long as
Think of how many jobs this would create.
Sure.
Only as long as the first planet we destroy is Earth, because it obstructs Marvin the Martian's view of Venus. I just showed
there's other things that go along with it. You know, the whole idea of space exploration, that's a big deal too. Having a actual presence in space that could be used as a launching pad for, exploring Mars and all the other good stuff.
Yeah, I mean, really their next big step is an orbital platform of some kind that we could then use as a staging point.
And then
why not a Death Star?
We destroy the universe!
Oh, just a planet.
Just a planet here, a planet there. No one will know the difference.
There's so many
useless ones like Mercury or something.
Yeah. Just go ahead and just, I say we take out Neptune.
Can we?
What's Neptune?
Wait. Neptune is a gas giant. Can we destroy a gas giant? Is that possible?
Can we build a Death Star?
No, because Rush Limbaugh is still on the air.
Oh,
nice.
Boosh.
John, Darth Vader has this to say about that fact. Like I said, when I saw the story, I was like, that is a keeper. We're doing the story. I mean, these people believe the stupidest shit.
Crazy is as crazy does.
Yeah. It's
they must have some bomb ass weed in North Carolina to be believing that shit.
Probably do.
War, you're in favor of this project, sir. Is that correct?
Well, I think anything pro-military and hundreds of thousands of jobs, I say yay. Let's do this.
Let's build this.
Something we can agree on. I just want a Death Star for the weenie wagging. We're America. We got a Death Star. We got a bigger international wiener.
Oh, okay. Yeah, so it's compensation.
I'm not saying it should be run by the Navy. God.
It's compensation.
We could use it to block out the sun in countries we don't like.
Well, isn't that what Laputa tried in Gulliver's Travels?
The Burns strategy.
Yeah.
And then
I was
what you
going
do
to say,
is park it.
Didn't Monty Burns try that too?
Here's your Republican strategy: build the Death Star, find where the solar farm is being built, and park it right on top, and say, "Oh, nice solar power you have there."
Indeed.
But yeah, so I mean, the stuff they believe on the right. I mean, don't get me wrong. A Death Star would be cool, but there's no way I want the Republicans to have the keys. No offense, War. I'm just saying. I don't want, oops, we pressed the wrong button. So, yeah, I don't know how I feel about this project. I do know that I just find it amusing that the WorldNet Daily actually believes that the president is going to try and build a Death Star.
Yeah, just the idea anybody can take that seriously is just hilarious. I mean, it's obviously a joke.
Yeah, it's obviously a joke, but comedy and conservatism, not so much. All right, so Oscar noms are out, and there's one film that is not on the... Why is it so silent all of a sudden?
Oh, hey,
the Oscars are serious business.
So there's one documentary that did not make the list, and that is, of course, Dinesh D'Souza, or as I call him, Dinesh D'Pooza, because he's full of shit. His movie, 2016 Obama's America, did not receive a nomination. And his explanation is because of liberal bias. He says, quote, I want to thank the Academy for not nominating our film. By ignoring 2016, the top-performing box office hit of 2012, and pretending that films like Searching for Sugar Man and, quote, This Is Not a Film are more deserving of an Oscar, our friends in Hollywood have removed any doubt average Americans may have had that liberal political ideology, not excellence, is the true standard of what receives awards.
Oh, I gotta say, D'Souza's got a point. I mean, the Academy Award never ever nominates box office losers. Idiot.
Yeah, the highest grossing film of the year, he says. I don't think that's true.
Yeah, the films... Go on.
Yeah, The Avengers came out this year.
Yeah, really. Where's the Oscar nods for The Avengers?
All right, there's more.
Or Batman.
The film's producer, Gerald Mullen, who also won an Oscar for producing Schindler's List, agreed. Dinesh warned me that this might happen, he told The Hollywood Reporter. The action confirms my opinion that the bias against anything from a conservative point of view is dead on arrival in Hollywood circles. The film's outstanding success means that America went to see the documentary in spite of how Hollywood feels about it. Really? No. Look.
Some data on that.
Actually, we do. But first, let's So according to this, so it never occurs to DePuza that it's not about bias, because if it was about bias, there are a bunch of people in Hollywood who wouldn't still have jobs. Melissa Joan Hart is a Republican. She's still active, and actually, she's a nice person. I've tweeted her a few times, and I said, I don't agree with you, but I think that people are treating you poorly because of this, and I think that's wrong. There's John Voight, who still has a career despite the fact he was in Transformers. Oh, and he also insulted the President of the United States by saying he wants to destroy the military. But Transformers is the worst of those two. Transformers was just... So here's 4 reasons why 2016 was snubbed an Oscar nod. 1. The film is full of lies.
No!
One of the film's most obvious lies is that President Obama signed the TARP legislation. It was actually George W. Bush who signed the program into law in 2008. Now, if I'm not mistaken, 2008 comes before 2009. War, can you confirm that, War? 2008 comes before 2009. You're better.
Yeah, well, let me check. Yes.
Okay,
yes.
Thank you. All right, I'm just making sure because math is not my strongest suit.
You'd have made a good Republican.
Don't insult me like that. Number 2, it doesn't qualify for the documentary category.
It doesn't qualify?
It is not a documentary. You can't say it's about America in 2016. How can that be a documentary?
Fair point.
I will say I don't think number 3 is a valid point. Rotten Tomatoes didn't like it. Who cares? Rotten Tomatoes isn't the Academy. And finally, filmmaker Dinesh D'Souza has a history of making offensive and unfounded comments. He has, for example, about the Abu Ghraib scandal, D'Souza said it was evidence not of the dangerous U.S. torture of Iraqis, but of the sexual immodesty of liberal America. So...
God.
Titties.
Yeah. He also wrote that the prison's conditions were comparable to the accommodations in the mid-level Middle Eastern hotels. If those mid-level Middle Eastern hotels have a fucking torture room with a rack and a... What was the thing you put people in and closed it and the nails hurt them? What was that?
Iron Maiden.
Iron Maiden. Thank you.
Yeah. How long have you been waiting for that one?
I'm so sorry that I forgot what that was.
Run to the hills.
That was good, Wes. Wes Karskadin should get a Grammy for that one. He also claimed that the U.S.'s intellectual left is, quote, secretly allied, unquote, with Osama bin Laden's movement.
Of course.
So guess what, guys? We're Osama bin Laden's buddies. I was wondering why I got that Christmas card from him a couple of years back before. Oh, right, a liberal put a bullet through his fucking brain.
I don't know. Are you sure it was a liberal? It might have been,
All right,
might have been a conservative.
President Obama
That's the enlisted ranks are.
President Obama is a moderate president. He's the one who ordered the hit.
He's Black Reagan.
Yeah. Well, except that President Obama did not arm America's enemies because he made a backroom deal with them to rig a U.S. presidential election.
Wait, if we're in league with Osama, where's our money?
You know what? I was worried that... War, do you know about that? Do you know where our money is?
Which money?
The Osama bin Laden money.
Yeah, or Al-Qaeda money, man.
I'm not sure. They probably spent it all.
Probably did.
See, we keep doing the shaft. No Soros money, no Buffett money, and now no Bin Laden money.
That's because we're liberal rednecks, Adam. We're not the liberal elite.
Speak for yourself. I live in Illinois. That makes me part of the liberal elite.
Oh, that makes you like a mobster or
I
something.
know, right?
In Fox World.
I'm gonna make you an offers you can't refuse. Speaking of that war, while you were in Chicago, did you have any problems like with bags of vipers?
No, thank God. I was constantly checking my back, though.
You never know. You clean a knife, it goes off 10 times in your back. So yeah, yeah, and that, I mean, look, I'm not saying, I don't buy this myth of Hollywood being this liberal place, because if that were true, all these Republican celebrities who are still active shouldn't be active. You've got Dean Cain, Republican.
What?
Dean Cain. He was Superman and Lois and Clark.
Yeah, I remember him.
Like I said, Melissa Joan Hart, she still has a very active television career. If this were John Voight, all these people, Bruce Willis, Kelsey Grammer. So this
Mel Gibson until he started hating Jews.
Yeah. Yeah, well, that was because, the Jews control the money, blah, 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 blah. Clint Eastwood! Clint fucking Eastwood!
Master Troll.
Oh, you mean that guy who talks to empty chairs?
Yes. Remember, did I ever play That There Chair Talk Guy by Mike Rocky?
Yes, you did.
Okay.
Yes.
Did you clear this in advance, or did you pull it out of your pants? Okay, I think we need to auger this in. As soon as I remember where the hell my plugs sheet is.
Talk about hot mess, man.
Just shut up. All right. We ask that you please check out our fine affiliates on Ustream and other places. There is, of course, the Nicole Sandler Show every Monday through Thursday, 10 a.m. to noon Eastern. That is on her Ustream channel of Radio or Not. Filter Free Radio with Jacob Dean and Skeptical Scott every Monday and Wednesday, 7 to 9 p.m. Eastern, also on Radio or Not. Talking Left every Sunday, 9 to noon Eastern, also on Radio or Not, and now broadcasting on We Act Radio. AWAP Radio, now the podcast drops sometime Friday night. The More Me Show every Sunday, 5 to 9 p.m. Eastern. And, of course, Big Bro Turn Up Night with Kenny Pick every Tuesday and Friday, 7 to 10 p.m. Eastern. Now on Spreecast. And on WVKO 1580 out of Columbus, Ohio, every Sunday, 5 to 8 p.m. Eastern. And, of course, please don't forget our webpage affiliates, USA Progressive at usaprogressive.com, Bradblog at bradblog.com, Messaging Matters at messagingmatters.com, our favorite webcomic, By Moon Alone, at bymoonalone, oneword.com, and our good friend Robert Wood, who posts his writing at Avin Abstract, AEVIN, abstract.com. And, of course, thank you very much for your generous support to Paul Green of leftwingradiostations.com. And that's all of our plugs. So, parting shots, who should we go first? War, what do you got for us? Parting shot, please.
I'm just looking forward to 10 years to sitting in the co-pilot chair of the Death Star.
That is War's quality thought of the day. And War, I'm sorry, I know I said I was going to try and get you a jingle. I have some concepts. I just haven't had the chance to develop them, if that makes sense. I promise it's not you. It's me.
Oh, I know.
Wes Smith, you're the other guest. What do you got for us?
The really scary thing about Michigan becoming a right-to-work state, honestly, strip away the ideology, strip away the union busting. this is going to keep happening because this is what states feel like they have to do to keep up with the South, which is almost a solid block of right to work, which results in drawing in all the corporations because they can pay the people here 40% less.
And
every state's going to feel like they have to do it to keep up.
I am so sorry. This is my fault, but because that conversation ended so abruptly, because I'm an idiot who can't keep track of time, I forgot to mention that one of the reasons why I personally object to this bill is because one of the things the Republicans did is, in Michigan, if you attach money to a bill, it cannot be repealed through a ballot initiative, which means that because they attached money to this, they're attaching this money to an appropriations bill. It means the people of Michigan, if they decide they don't want this bill, cannot vote to repeal it. And that, I think, is unfair.
The South is an economic third world country
Pretty
hanging
much.
off of the rest of the country, and that's what we're all turning into now.
Yep.
That's scary.
Very scary.
Yes. John Kendall, you're going on leave for a few weeks, brother. So we're gonna miss you. What's your parting shot?
Yeah, like Adam said, for the next 3 weeks I'll be back, arguing politics and other fun stuff with my dad and possibly my brother. I just
Fight
want
the
you
good
guys
fight,
to
John. Fight the
have a
good
good
fight.
3 weeks. Don't get too lonely without me. But if you do, keep Jergens by your computer. Thank you.
And I will say this, not war. Why did I say war? John, keep fighting the good fight, and we will miss you, and we'll see you back for Shithead of the Year on January 5th, and then, of course, the epic, I'm turning in the Scooby-Doo. Epic. Rory Ratty?
Wait, didn't Scooby smoke a huge amount of weed? So...
That is how many people see that. But
well, that is what it is in Scooby Snacks. So
anyway, let me see. So, Rob, what do you got for us, sir?
So I know most of us are fans of Final Fantasy.
Oh,
if you get a chance to look, right? If you get a chance to look up on YouTube. There's a song from Final Fantasy 13-2. It's called the Red Chocobo theme. It is basically a metal version of the Chocobo theme, and you seriously have, if you've ever played any of the Final Fantasy games, you have to listen to the song because it is so fucking hilarious.
I know.
You have to specifically the version that has the lyrics with it, and just read the lyrics while the song is playing. It's just so funny.
And I will say that the 25th anniversary of Final Fantasy was, I believe, this week, and they did a concert in Chicago, and unfortunately I couldn't. War, you should have gone to Distant Worlds in Chicago, man. You could have met Nobu.
I don't think you had the time.
You could have met.
I literally wasn't let go until midnight, and then I flew back today or yesterday. No, today. I got arrived at 1. I can say today.
I'm just saying, though, you could have met Nobu, the man Uematsu, man. All right, Wesker Skadden, parting shot, please, sir. We're almost out of time.
Well, I just want to respond to Wes Smith's parting shot, is that if we're just a hanging third world, sweaty, hot country, then that means we're your balls, motherfucker.
Does that make fuller the penis? Because it is penis shaped and it is populated by
I think that makes
dicks.
Texas the penis, because Texas is a serious size complex.
That's
I don't know. I think Texas is the asshole.
Oh man, Florida's the asshole.
All right, we'll discuss this some other time because we are pretty much out of time. My parting shot is, as I said earlier, 25th anniversary of Final Fantasy. I'd like to say thank you very much to Nobu Uematsu. Thank you for all the wonderful inspiration over these years. You are, as far as I'm concerned, the Japanese John Williams. And I have been privileged to be able to meet the man and tell him that in person in really shitty Japanese.
Wow.
So.
Yeah, Black Mages 4. Make it happen.
I want Distant Worlds 3. But anyway, we can discuss this off the air. We have to go. Thank you very much, for everyone, for checking out Mike Check Radio with me, Adam Hebert, Robert Poole, John Kendall, Wesker Skadden, most badass co-host of Liberal Talk Radio, and of course, thank you, a very special thank you to War, our Republican friend, and Wes Smith. We'll see you next week. Bye.
Time for go to bed. Aye, 'tis late. Shall we retire?
Goodbye, my friends. Goodbye to you all. I'll never forget you. Live in peace.
Goodbye, all. Stay happy and good luck.
On our way to great adventures.
Get out of here! Disgusting worm!
Push the button, Frank.
Get you next time, Gadget. Next time.
Visitors, thank you for your attendance.
And the recording